Hi everybody, good evening. How are y'all doing? I don't know. I've been in kind of a touche amore mood today, so I figured I'd start us off tonight with some of their music. I've been listening to a lot of their covers of other songs. I really like their original music, obviously, but their covers of their four covers that I've played here tonight. Those being their covers of Unsatisfied by The Replacements, Crescent-Shaped Depression by Title Fight, available by Leonard Cohen, and, available by The National, and Game of Pricks by Guided by Voices, I think. All really good songs. Figured y'all would enjoy those as much as I have.
Oh man, I'm Skinny
Is that Skinny Pete? But yeah, so it's another Stalker Tuesday. Figured I'd, pull this up here tonight and see if I can't, find a way to make it up to you guys after calling out last week. But, I really was not feeling up to it last week. Let me really liking this band. Yeah, they're really fucking good. I love everything they make. I remember trying to get into them about, 6 or 7 years ago, and I couldn't. I was like, oh, this seems like I could really get into it, but for some reason I just can't. Them and Defeater, actually, the exact same thing. Both of them were bands where, I first started listening to them, and I'm like, I don't know why, but, there's, this weird sort of barrier. And now, where I'm at now, it's like, no, I see it. I understand it now. It's great. So let me bring us on down to the bar. Hold up. I have the lens cap on my webcam still. There we go. Just a moment. It does this sometimes. There we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome on down to my bar. I am Too Much Sascha, the Chernobyl battle maid. I cook, I clean, I hunt, and when I'm not doing any of those things, I'm streaming here on Twitch. I play spooky shooter games, and every Tuesdays, I stream the Stalker games. And, that's exactly what we're doing here tonight. Let me give some love to my wonderful friends up in chat here tonight. Our good friends, our very good friends. Nick's Nightfall, Monochrome TV, Chance Nezimi VT. Also good to see you, Lucky Mapno, as always. It's good to see all of you here tonight. Also, I think wow, did I actually, perfectly manage to align myself again? Also, Iris, what's up? Yo, I'm gonna give Iris a shout-out real quick. I wanna give the rest of y'all shout-outs as soon as I can, but so many, fellow VTuber homies always pull up in chat so fast nowadays. Here, everybody please go give a good follow and check out our good friend Iris C. Python. She does fantastically good work here in the community. She's very important to us all. Also, y'all might notice, Thanks. Anyway, you guys might notice I currently have, 3 logos on my chest. Those being Touche Amore, La Dispute, and Pianos Become the Teeth. I've also been really getting into Pianos Become the Teeth lately. I've found myself just kind of listening to their album The Lack Long After on repeat. It's a really fucking good album. It's a killer. It kills you, but it's good. It's really good. I liked it, and I can't stop listening to it. And I've also been listening to some of their newer stuff. All very good music. Love those guys. I need to see them live at some point. I would love to see them perform a song like Legions or what is it? Fucking Filial live. I will lose my shit. So, let's get down to business then. It's good to see you guys. Stalker Tuesday, as you guys know. I haven't picked up Stalker in a good couple of weeks because I've mostly been playing Ground Branch with the good friends, Nyx and Iris and Spiral. So, I might be in a little bit of a tactical shooter vibe tonight, so I might be kind of a little bit silly wacky with it. I might be, fucking, being a little bit more, careful with how I clear rooms and shit, depending on what we end up doing. The main goal tonight is to make money. We got paid a pretty good sum for our activities last Stalker stream, after we cleared out X18 and got a good amount of mutant parts that'll sell for a good amount, but, I want more. I wanna buy myself a new rifle. I wanna buy myself a nice new sniper rifle, or maybe tune up that SVD I have. And I think my best bet right now is to start seeing about getting some more money. If need be, maybe even getting some more money and, fucking, what is it? what's the word? If need be, I might even just, like, you know, buy one at the start of the stream, and then, you know, fucking, I guess just, like, learn how to use it and start securing some ammo. We always want more. Indeed, Mono is absolutely correct. So, let's head on down to the game, then, and see what we can get up to tonight. There we go. So, why is the game so dark? Hold up, this is weird. Okay, you guys aren't seeing this. You guys are seeing this on stream, but I'm not seeing it in my game. There's a big fucking, like, black spot in the middle of the game there. That is weird as hell. Oh, you know what? You know what? Hold on a second. Game 2 capture. Now, what could be causing that? There's like a... Like, are you guys seeing that too? You guys are seeing that too, right? Like, there's a... Gonna eat dinner? Okay, see you, Mapno. Hope you have a good night. Mono says just go to the Wish Granter and ask for riches. That's true. Yeah, are you guys not... Is that, like, only something I'm seeing on my preview? Are you guys not seeing, like, a big, like, black blur in the middle of the screen? Like, hold on a second. Let me open this up. Maybe it's an error with, like, my game preview or something. This is really fucking weird. Let me look at this. Let me look it up on Twitch real quick. You see it? Okay. My game captures have been really, really fucking weird, especially with how the game capture did not actually want to capture, fucking, what is it? You know, fucking Halo last night. Thought it was nighttime in-game. No, it's not. It's just not supposed to be doing this, so hold up. Let me try something. How about now? No, it's still there. What if can I, like, refresh the thing or something? Book rate. What's weird is that this has never done this before. Otherwise find window of same type. No? Huh. Using shaders in other games? Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me, dude? It's reshade. It's fucking reshade. When I turn off my anti-aliasing, it goes away. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, Mono, thank you for pointing that out. Why is reshade suddenly causing this now? It didn't used to. This version of reshade is all kinds of fucked up, I've found. It also causes my thumbnails for what is it, fucking, save games to also have, like, a weird problem with visibility. I don't understand it. Reshade is, like, all fucking kinds of fucked up. So, hold up. Okay, that's weird. It's both of them together? I was worried we'd have to wait to sit around troubleshooting for a few minutes. No. Stalker may have constant issues, but at least those constant issues are usually relatively easy to fix, unless you mod it like I do, in which case go fuck yourself, I guess. It's a little bit whack. Alright, let's see here. I got shit to clear out. Fuck me, huh? No chance, not like that. Alright, so I've got a good amount of money, but the problem is we don't really have a whole lot of guys we can buy weaponry from. Also, the ammunition I want to use for my weaponry is going to be a little bit difficult to obtain, because we have an SA-58, and I really want to use the SA-58. I think it's a fantastic weapon. But the problem is that, like, it has absolutely no fucking condition left on it, and I have no ammo for it. Well, by no ammo, I mean... I technically have, like, what, 86 rounds? But, like, those are NATO ball rounds, and NATO ball rounds kind of suck. Lucky says, luckily, honestly, modding a Slavjank the game does not seem like something you should do too much. I mean, yeah, but, like... To be perfectly honest, because this game, like, Anomaly is already a standalone mod, and, you know, it's like a 64-bit version of the engine, modding it is surprisingly easy and usually doesn't have that many issues. But obviously, like with any game, the more mods you introduce, the more you will start to have problems. This game works pretty damn well under a ton of mods. Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. So let's look into this. What's some work that I need to get done right now? We do need to clear out X16, but I think we should head to the garbage and get some work done there first. Barkeep needs documents. I also have to turn in a quest in the cordon with some fucking patches. So we'll start that way and pick up some quests as we cut a little swath through the zone. That sounds good. And it's only about 7 AM, so we've got plenty of time to do it. Alright. Give me a second. I'm just gonna move my chair a little bit. That's better. One day I'll have a custom Sascha patch. I really want to make those a reality. If I, you know, like, I might, like, see about doing it with Redbubble with the stickers or something. I like to taste patches. Thank you, Nix. They're Touche, Amore, La Dispute, and Pianos Become the Teeth. So it's like 3 bands of The Wave, as they call it themselves. Just a group of, you know, funky little post-hardcore bands all touring together and calling themselves The Wave, really. Hey Vex, what's up? How are you doing tonight? Let me give you a shout out in chat as I always do, because the homie needs lots of support. Please go check out our good homie Hexatious Vex, good friend of our channel, good friend of our community. Very dependable. Let's see here. I wanted to do something real quick. There we go, that's a little bit better. Alright, so we're gonna head on down to the garbage then, because we have a task to turn in there, and some other shit to do. I think that would be best to carry out that. How's my favorite battle maid? Oh, thank you. I'm doing my best today. I'm a little bit in and out. I was very sleepy, so tonight might be a little bit of a short stream. I know, you know, coming back after like a week where I had to cancel like 2 streams in a row, I kind of feel bad making a stream not go on for like, you know, lots of time, but I didn't really get, like, I slept for a decent amount of time, but I didn't feel very well rested today. So it might be a little bit of a shorter stream tonight, just because, you know, I'm kind of fighting for my life over here. Stay strong, soldier. Thank you, I'm doing my best. But, yeah, I'm just a little bit sleepy, but that's it. I'm honestly doing alright. How are you doing today, Nix? I mean, Vex, fuck. It's two-letter, single-syllable names with X at the end. You must understand. How's our favorite, gremlin going? You boolin'? You chillin' even? Thanks for the SO. Yeah, don't worry about it, homie. I had strong medium roast coffee today, like right before going live, so I don't really understand why I feel so drowsy. I think I've just kind of not been being good to myself lately. I've kind of been fucking my sleep schedule up, and generally shit like that has been going on. So it's been like a week of just kind of me being really weird, especially since I've kind of been like starting a coding class and everything. So on top of streaming and work, I've also got that going on. So like the amount of time I've really got just to like hang with people has gotten drastically reduced, and it really fucking sucks. I'm not having a good time with it, but I'm doing my best. I'm just hoping this coding class pans out well, because it's seeming like something that, if nothing else, I think I could get into. And to be perfectly honest, I do kind of want to at least find a way to start medication on like some type of ADHD meds, but I haven't really been able to get headway on that. I've been too busy with everything else, especially HRT. Waiting for the Minahan to hit 12 and I'm homeward bound. Awesome, you're at work. What you coding? Web design. I'm learning web design, HTML5, CSS, all that jazz. It's going to be nice. Also, wow, I was right. I did actually perfectly center my model from memory. That's fucking insane. Everybody give your maid a round of applause today. She's doing her best. I spent a lot of time on a friend's private Minecraft server doing some cool stuff. Yeah, oh yeah, I didn't actually, because I hadn't streamed since then. But a good friend of ours has her own private Minecraft server we've been hanging out on, and I ended up building a house, like a big house based on a 1902 log mansion, built by a Russian carpenter. Um, he used to live in this nice little forest village, and then he ended up moving to St. Petersburg to make the big money as a carpenter, and he did indeed make big money. And with much of the riches that he made, and of course his increased experience and skills in carpentry, he actually came back to his old forest village to make his own home, and he built this really beautiful log mansion. And apparently there's been an artist kind of like helping to maintain it over the years, just like out of the goodness of their heart and as like a personal passion project. It's really cool. Remember the post on Twitter? Yeah, but I haven't, like, it's gotten a lot better since the last time I posted about it, or at least I like to think that it has. It's been very nice. I'm very proud of it. It looks beautiful. I think it's actually the most complex home that I've built in Minecraft. Because the last time I was on stream, I think I remember talking about the fact that I had undertaken a task to try to recreate the Resident Evil 7 guest house in Minecraft. And that was okay, you know, but, like, the problem with that was, like, the Resident Evil 7 guest house is in a Resident Evil game, so not only is living out of it fucking impossible, because it's designed to, like, weave and wind and be really confusing to navigate, but also, like, there's a lot of impossible space involved in survival horror game maps and shit, so, like, the exterior design of the house does not match the interior floor plans and everything. It's really fucking weird. So I said c'est la vie to that. I took a break from it. And that was a good long while ago, and now I'm just working on my own personal home. And I finished the log cabin. In fact, I actually finished the interior floor plans recently, so I'm really proud of it. I've been getting busy in Minecraft. I've been doing a lot of stuff that I think is very, very cool, and a lot of my friends seem to think it's very cool too, and I really appreciate that. It's the best. Just building the 4th dimension. God, I wish Minecraft had, like, non-Euclidean shit. That would be so cool, dude. The guest house is impressive. I will agree. Because the guest house is supposed to look like a drab old fucking, like, farmhouse, it is not particularly pleasing to the eyes, even after I added some roofing to kind of, you know, boost the sort of color diversity in how it looks. But the log mansion is fantastic, because I've got, like, you know, I've got, like, a log siding, like, ornate dark wood trim, and all this shit, and like a nice red wood roofing that's very, very complex, actually. And the interior is all lit by lanterns too, so it turns out to be a fucking fantastic thing. And every time I just, like, load the game up and I look at it, I'm really proud of it. And I also have, like, a banner thingy on top of it, where the banner's little design is actually supposed to be my chest right here. It's my white collar on top, with my red bow, and then the sides of my tactical vest in black. So it's just, like, you know, my chest and my bow on it. And I think that's a really nice little, like, I don't know, I'm kind of, like, pushing to sort of, like, have my little red ribbon be the, you know, like, big identifier of me. For the longest time, it was my glasses, but go to the 4th dimension and see a Minecraft popo. All these cubes make a sphere. All these cubes make a sphere. Very fitting for the Sascha. Thank you. Your builds make me strive to make more. Well, it's funny you say that, Mono. Stop me if I said this while I was in a call with you, Mono. But I made the fucking, you know, Slavic log house because I saw your huge fucking and impressive house, you know, with, like, the giant fucking super angular roof and the really nice big dining area and everything else going on in your house. And I was like, man, I gotta do something like that. I gotta outdo Mono. How am I gonna outdo Mono? And I didn't want to make it like a big fuck off castle or something. I was like, no, I need to be more original than that. So I was like, okay, well, let's tap into my cultural roots then. Let's look into something Slavic that I can do. You know, doesn't even have to be specifically Russian, but it can mainly be just, like, you know, something that's very Slavic in origin. And an old 1900, like, I basically just looked up, like, early 20th century stuff. And I'm really proud of it. I think it turned out great, and I'm glad that y'all liked it too when I showed it off. But the problem is, now that the house is done, I didn't know what the fuck to make anymore. I didn't know what the fuck to do. I built the house. You know what, actually? I had plans to build a bakery in our town square. And mainly sell things like ice cream and bread and cookies. Also, this motherfucker is dead as hell. I have heard this, but I'm ever so glad to rehear it. Yeah, see, I'm sure it must be an ego boost to have a homie look at your stuff and be like, damn, how am I gonna one-up this? Alright, where are the documents that I need? They're right here, as they tend to be. Unfortunately, getting to them may prove challenging. I'm gonna have my boys wait over there so I don't have to worry about them getting close to me. NPC pink mist. Yeah, you love it. We love seeing dudes get vaporized. It's this guy's backpack. Now time to get the fuck out of here, because nothing melts the suit like chemical anomalies. Look. Oh, wow, it's actually still at 100%. I'll be damned. What are you idiots shooting at? Alright, well, we got Barkeep's documents, so we won't be going back home empty-handed. I love seeing dudes. Yeah, we know, Chance. We got the documents. We're gonna head on down to the cordon now, and then do that. Do I have any missions for the scientists? Oh, also, I killed mutants, so I can go turn that into Butcher over here. You know, if anybody's gonna have a gun that I think I might genuinely make a lot of use of... Wait a minute. I was gonna say, oh, if anybody's gonna have a gun I might genuinely make use of, it'll be Butcher. But Butcher sold me this Spas 12. I bought it last stream. I bought it as soon as I was done coming home from, or no, maybe it was before? Hold up, why did Automod hold that? Digi games? Oh no, whore. Jesus Christ, that's a statement I'm not sure I'm a better person after having read. I mean, I don't know. I did my time back in the day when I used to go onto fucking, you know, like, what is it? Like shock and gore threads and be like, oh man, ain't nothing scare me. But now I'm an adult. Like, I've like grown up and I've kind of like softened a bit. So it's like, yeah, no, I think I'm good, dude. I think I'm good. I used to go on this one subreddit, so like, y'all know eye bleach, right? I don't know if this one still exists anymore, but I used to go on a subreddit called iBlack, where it actually just shows you horrible, horrible things. Man, I sure do love having unrestricted internet access in my youth. I sure hope that didn't affect me in any negative ways as my impressionable mind grew. Honestly, I think I'm proud of myself for the effort that I've put in over many, many years to heal and grow out of the you know, the different behaviors that got baked into me from being a kid with unrestricted internet access. Internet access. Let me try that one again. Okay, so he's not selling us any good guns. I think Loris and what's his name will be best. I just like violent video games. Yeah. I did say during a Monster Hunter stream that, like, when it comes to, like, video games, most of the time, violence is fine. Like, I don't give a fuck, you know? I'll kill, like, a ton of dudes. You should see me playing Postal 2. Oh, man, I'm, like, insane. But, like, when it comes to, like, movies and other stuff, right? Like, with movies, I can't do it. I just can't. I don't like seeing it. Like, in video games, I love playing games that, like, make violence satisfying. Like, Killing Floor 2, for example, is fantastic at it. It's a great example. It's weird. I don't know why, like, I guess because of video games, I know for a fact that it's not real. But with movies, you know, like, movies are live action. And, like, you know, movies in live action are with people. And, you know, people, it's like, I don't know. There's always that thing where it's like, you know, what if this was real? Like, back when, you know, back before I started my transition, there were only a couple of scenes in movies that I couldn't deal with. One of them was a scene in the wonderful Green Room movie. which is about a DIY punk band accidentally witnessing a murder and basically being hunted by a whole like gang of neo-Nazis. It's a great film if you like punk music and watching Nazis get fucked up, and it's also a great film if you like seeing really good acting and a really smart direction to it, where like surprisingly not all of the characters are complete fucking idiots. They don't act like dumbasses. But there's a scene in which one of the main characters attempts to reach through a door, like a slightly ajar door, like a crack in a door, to grab a gun that Patrick Stewart is carrying. And unfortunately, Patrick Stewart is on the other side and he has a machete. And they pull his arm back in, and oh, it's like he still has his arm, but I feel like at that point you'll probably wish you hadn't. It's rough. And then the other one was a scene in that scene is brutal. It's fucked up. And then the other scene I'm thinking of is in Event Horizon, when a character goes through an airlock without a spacesuit on. And the other characters are literally instructing him how to not fucking die. It's horrendous. It's fucking terrifying. Fucking Event Horizon is a really good movie. It's a fantastic movie. I still love the fan theory where, like, the whole thing is that, like, I don't think Paul W.S. Anderson can make movies that aren't just video game movies. So, like, there's a common theory that Event Horizon was originally meant to be a Space Hulk game, and for some reason they couldn't get the licensing, so they just made it into its own movie instead. I like that theory. Are there soldiers here? That guy is an exoskeleton. I'm not bothered by movie gore, but I also learned how to make those kinds of effects, so I'm more critical. That is cool. Thank you for the lurk. Hope you have a safe ride home, Vex. Yeah, that is cool. I think I would probably be the same. Chances I used to not mind gore, but as I've gotten older, I've gotten more squeamish to it. I don't know. When Spiral was talking to me, she pointed out that it's like, I think it's just like, you know, being more empathetic, you know? Like, when I was like a shitty little, you know, what is it, misanthropic kid who was like, oh, we need a new plague. There's too many people on the planet. Yeah, I was one of those kids. I didn't give a fuck. I would watch all types of horrifying things just to test myself and be like, yeah, I can handle this. I ain't no bitch. I'm heartless. And now as an adult, I'm like, please don't post that picture. Please don't post that video of the little kitten, like, you know, struggling to drink from its bowl of milk. It makes me really upset, genuinely. Like, I'm being serious here. Like, that's the progression of me as a person. And you know what? I'm happy that as I've gotten older, you know, I don't really, like, laugh at mean stuff like that anymore. Like, I'll laugh at, you know, like, just like, you know, like, funny banter and shit. But, like, I don't know. I've gotten more empathetic when it comes to, like, things like, you know, suffering and stuff. If I even, like, perceive something to be suffering, it'll make me genuinely really upset. Like, I'm at the point now where, like, hearing children crying at any point makes me genuinely really upset, and I kind of, like, need to, like, find a way to not hear it, or else I can kind of, like, rapidly start to kind of, like, not, you know, I can rapidly start to sort of let it, like, ruin my mood. Chance says I was the same kid. Most of us were. I think at this point, if you're, like, you know, in our generation, there's a very high likelihood of that. Mono says, I used to be squeamish to the gore, but as I've gotten older, I will seek it in a piece of art. Yeah, no, that's a fair point. I think in horror films, especially, or any films in general, I think really well done special effects are absolutely something that still needs to, you know, be appreciated as it should be. And that includes special effects of things like, you know, violence. I mean, look how much people talk about fucking, you know, the special effects in movies like The Thing or RoboCop or anything. Where it's like, yeah, it's horrifying, but, like, come on, it's pretty well done, you gotta admit. What do you see, boy? Also, they accidentally shot me, so I imagine my suit's gonna be fucked up. Wow, only 98%. When did that change? I mean, I do have 3 Kevlar sheets. There have been a couple of points Like here's the thing, right? You know, it's one thing I can't ever stand like absurd levels of like violence in is anime. When I was watching anime, like there was like I tried to watch Elfen Lied. Like there are like two different types of it, right? I tried watching the first episode of Elfen Lied, and I just like turned it off. I was like, this is a waste of my fucking time. I'm not having fun. You've got characters are literally meat for the grinder, and this show is just like just gory death after gory death, and then like really weird moe scenes after it. It's just bizarre. And you know what? If there is a merit that it has to stand up on that I'm simply not seeing from my perspective, I will happily back up on what I'm saying. But where I currently kind of feel right now is I don't really fuck with it at all. And anime gore is gross and unneeded. Yeah. The other one I thought of was Blood Sea. I was on Facebook once, and a fucking, what is it, like Death Step group that I follow, put some of their music in the background of like a scene, like basically like one of the end scenes of Blood Sea. And I actually got sick to my stomach. And that was in like 2016. I actually got like genuinely sick to my stomach, and it kind of ruined my day. And people were like, what's up? Yeah, it is. It is the one with the rabbit monsters. I was like, this is just like such unnecessary human suffering. Like, what is the point of this? What is the artistic merit behind this? Like, at this point, like, animating gore isn't really very difficult. Anybody can do that. I think even Akira did it better. Mono says, I used to get near to fainting when hearing people talk about biology, but now I go out of my way to look at biology textbooks and their drawings. I don't really know how it got here. It's weird how we sort of progress as people and how our tastes develop. Chances, yeah, I hate shit like that. Yeah, I actually am not one of the only, like, I'm not even the only person in my friend group to feel like that. Because Albert, you know, good longtime friend of me and our and this channel, the first time he watched Akira, he like basically sat down with me and he talked about how he did not enjoy the ending at all. He thought that the whole like, you know, sort of like the sort of mutation scene was like really, especially like the scene where a character gets crushed. It was like unnecessary and didn't really serve to like actually like tell any type of story. It was kind of bullshit. And you know what? I completely agree. I think if I'd seen that scene myself, I would have probably turned it off and just been like, enough. You know? Alright, Loris, let's see what you got. We have an SVD for 54,000. I think I can fix up the one back home for more. I probably should have brought it because I think I could have fixed it up here for cheaper. I can handle a lot of gore, but Akira was too much to me. I hear a lot about that. I hear a lot about that with Akira. It makes me feel a little bit pensive about watching it, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Like, as it stands, I don't really tend to watch a lot of anime with gore. Like, I watched Ava, and Ava can get kind of violent, but, like, its violence is surprisingly well, like, panned out, you know? Like, what is it? There's the scene at end of Ava with the mass production Avas and Asuka and shit. That didn't really faze me that much. And then when Third Impact happens, everybody just turns into fucking orange juice, and it's like, whatever. But, like, Ava that didn't bother me. When it comes to, like, live-action stuff, I remember I was watching lots of Utopia and it didn't bother me that much. It was not horribly put together. I thought the violence in Utopia was well paced and everything as well. I do remember watching the Texas Chainsaw Michael Bay remake. I talked about this on that Monster Hunter stream, but I'll talk about it again anyway, because fuck it. Because not everyone might have been there for that. But I remember I just, like, a couple of my friends were, like, asking me if I was, like, feeling okay, because they're like, Sasha, you don't really look like you're doing too good. And I'm like, yeah, I'm, like, angry. I'm, like, I'm sitting down to, like, watch a movie hoping I'll see, like, a good, like, horror kind of thing. And it's just unnecessary exploit. Like, it's just unnecessary, like, suffering. I'm like, it's just, like, a fucking, like, video. Like, it's just, like, a scene of a dude getting put up on meat hooks or whatever. And it's like, this is embarrassing, dude. Like, where's the fucking movie here? It's just suffering. And like, look, okay, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of media that's dark and bleak, right? I love media where everything sucks and is hopeless, because I think it's an interesting study of the human psyche under duress and in extreme, you know, adversity. But I think there's a point. I think you reach a point pretty quickly, where it's just like, okay, this is like, you're just doing this to do it now. This guy is an exoskeleton. I'm not going to win this fight. Stuff like gore is kind of a crutch in modern media. You can make death impactful without having someone get brutalized. Glop says, reminds me of realizing there was like a multi-season period where the punchline on Robot Chicken was just, hey, violence or gore. Yeah, that's the other thing. Is I hate when violence and gore just comes out of fucking nowhere. Like, if I go into something, right, and you go up to me and you say, yo, Sascha, this shit is ridiculous, dude, it's horrible. I'll be like, okay, whatever. You know, I can handle it. But, like, if I'm, like, watching anything of, like, any nature that doesn't imply that it will do that, and then it just kind of fucking blindsides me, I get put in a really shitty mood. Because I'm like, this isn't funny. This is fucked up. Well, it turns out the best option to deal with bulletproof armor is to not use bullets. Who would have thunk? Captain Ikabidze. An OTS-14 Groza, GSH-18, and an S1 MP Gyurza. SR1 MP. I always get its name slightly wrong. Like, God, if you fucking show me anything and like it just fucking pulls out gore out of nowhere, I am going to be pissed at you. I'm going to be like, no, put this shit away, dude. Stop. You know what I could do with my funds is I could see if I can buy me a fucking Bison shotgun from the big man over there. I also forgot to save when I went to the loner base, so that's on me. Whoops. Like, I'm trying to think of an example where I was watching something and it just basically kind of, like, descended into gore. There's some anime that does that. Like, a lot of people consider Madoka Magica to be like that, but I don't. Madoka Magica's violence is actually surprisingly bloodless in 9 times out of 10. Like, the whole, like, infamous decapitation scene is, like, 90% implicit. None of it is actually, like, really shown, you know? It's ridiculous. It's not that bad. Let me think of it. Like, there aren't really that many scenes where, like, you see, like, real explicit human violence in that show. It knows how to, like, you know, just kind of, like, freak you out and unnerve you with, like, implicit stuff. Like that one scene where Sayaka's going absolutely apeshit on a fucking witch. And the witch is obviously spraying viscera everywhere, but, like, it's not human. It's, like, a weird, fucked up plant thing in the middle of a room, and it's all in, like, high contrast monochrome. So you're not really, like, getting anything. So, like, when the violence happened in Madoka, it was like, yeah, I'm a little bit shocked. Because at first this seemed like a kind of, you know, like a nice show or whatever, but there were always kind of, like, hints in the beginning of this sort of, like, genuinely kind of, like, you know, darker tone to it. And then eventually it was just like, alright, well, let's just do it. Let's get into it then. This is why you're here, huh? So I don't mind it in a show like that, you know? But if I'm, like, watching some kind of, like, cutesy slice of life show and somebody gets, like, violently murdered on screen, it's like, hey, person who created this, have you tried finding another job? Have you tried not writing / animating / directing this? Have you tried just, like, going into your fucking kitchen and cooking, like, a lasagna or something? Mono says I gotta head out now. Good luck with the stalkering. Thank you, Mono. Let me give you a parting shout-out real quick. That's my Russian keyboard. shout out Monochrome. Actually, no, Chance, could you deliver the shout out for me? Could you shout Mono out for me, please? Thank you. Everybody, please go check out our good friend Monochrome TV. A very good friend of our channel. A very good friend of our community. Very unique style and presence and just about everything else about their channel. Love them to death. Okay. Let's not fuck this up and die this time. No chance, this exclamation point SO, no. You messed up the slash shout out, the exclamation point SO. Poor Chance. Oop. And I oop. Yeah, if I can get myself a fucking Bison shotgun, I'll pass it to Hip and probably bring her onto my squad. Some more bodies couldn't hurt. It's gonna be a long day, isn't it? Said Tima. Yeah, isn't it? He doesn't seem to have it in stock today. As soon as he does, I'm buying it. I also need to buy a can of tuna, because if I'm ever going to actually give Hip that fucking shotgun, her questline needs to advance by like one more quest ahead, and you need to literally give her a fucking can of tuna to start like hanging out with you. It's really funny. That sounds like Monolith troops. That sounds like Monolith troops, I'm gonna be real. Guys, get in here. Or no, it's the military, actually. I think that's the military. At least we got boys here. That'll stop them. Run on home, soldier boy. Alright, there we go. Now I'm down to 95. I am bleeding, so I'm gonna have to pop this real quick. Holy fuck. Wow, that's a way to die. Well, a lot of unnecessary bloodshed happened, but... for some reason oh, here we go. Private Zozo. Private Zozo? When you go outside and smell that Zozo. It's too much Zozo, guys. Having a name that's basically like, you know, like 2 syllables of the same sound kind of bites me in the ass sometimes, I think. Hey, AK-74U Tactical. Senior Sergeant Ardashev. Unfortunate. What an end for someone like him to meet. Sascha, Zaza, Cha-Cha. I could go fucking on and on with those. Alright, let me disassemble some of this shit. Also, I think the music is too low. Yep. I was like, why don't I hear music? That's why. Do I want to keep that AKS-74U Tactical? Nah, not really. I got a better weapon right here. Oh! Are you kidding me? No, hold up. He wants to smoke. He wants to smoke. What the fuck is a bloodsucker doing out here, and what happened to all the guys that are supposed to be guarding this shithole? You didn't see him? You didn't see that motherfucker? He was like right here, dude. Man, you guys are worthless. Y'all ain't good for shit. I'm also still bleeding because bloodsuckers hurt you pretty bad. Alright, well, let's see what you can offer me. Just your meat? I suppose I'll take it. Let me get rid of these weapons, too, still. There we go. Okay. My AK looking like? About half. Shotty's good. Oh, wait, hold up. Yeah, look at that ammo check animation. I'm gonna put my pistol back in place. And funnily enough, none of these fucking idiots proceeded to drop any ammo. So, let me feel... Hold on a second. Why am I having my door knocked on? Give me a second. Sorry about that. Had some shit come up. Had to deal with it real quick. Alright, we're back. Right. So, let me talk a little bit about what I've been up to off-stream. Me, Nick's Nightfall, Irasu Python, and Spiral Galaxy have all been getting up to playing something very interesting. I've been slowly converting some of my friends into tactical shooter players. I secured a couple of copies of Ground Branch for some friends, and we have all started playing it. For those who don't know, Ground Branch is a tactical shooter, a first-person tactical shooter, that's kind of very much meant to be a spiritual successor to like classic Rainbow Six in terms of its gameplay. It's a really enjoyable game. It's very open, immersive. There's a lot of there's great environments and levels to it. It's a really fun fucking game, and I like it. So we've been hanging out and staying up till like 6 a.m. sometimes, doing like PvE missions, and it's a fucking blast. I actually like listening to Stalker music when we play certain ones, because there are two maps that are like basically supposed to be in like, you know, like post-Soviet Ukrainian areas. One of them is called Storage Facility, and like 50% of it is obviously like an outdoor area, like a big dock area that you can even see container ships come through sometimes. And the other half is like a big underground facility. And creeping through that with your nods on and trying to clear out enemies is so fucking scary. Oh my god. Like, you go down the stairs and it's pitch black, it's pitch black, and you've only got your IR illuminator to keep you fucking, you know, like, notified as to where people might be. I've had my friends show me the cool effect that is the NVGs in Ground Branch. Absolutely, the nods in Ground Branch are top tier. So, you know, we go through the fucking basement of the facility, clearing out dudes. We obviously, you know, give each other, like, call signs, and we address each other pretty formally, like a fucking real squad and shit. So, you know, I'll be like, okay, like, obviously, like, just, we end up with just kind of me being, like, you know, the squad leader by de facto. There was one time we had Spiral as a squad leader, and she died almost immediately, and I had to take her place. And it was great, you know? I'm like, okay, 1-3, go cover that hallway. 1-2, on me, cover me, you know? Everybody stack up on this door, let's clear it out. Flash and all clear, shit like that. It's a fucking blast. There was a moment during one run on storage facility where fucking Iris, I had her go through like a side tunnel to try and give me and Nick sniper support. And she's like, okay. And we get into a little bit of a gunfight, and I immediately hear 2 sniper fire shots, and Iris just doesn't respond. And I'm just like, 1-4, come in. 1-4? Shit. And I just turned to Nyx, and I'm like, I think we lost her. I'm not going anywhere without the body, though. So I end up being like, okay, cover me. We run to, you know, a little fucking thing we can hide behind. Nyx takes out the sniper with fucking pristine aim. And I go up to fucking, you know, Iris's body. And I just radio to Spiral. I go, alright, entry team to talk. We lost somebody. It was funny as hell. But we have a great fucking time playing the PvE. It's really good. It's immersive. It's fun. I can't get enough of it. We're probably going to be playing less of the T-Hunt and more of the intel retrieval mode because it presents an actual objective, so we don't have to comb through the map hunting down broken AI. Because Grand Branch does have a bit of a problem with its AI. It leaves a lot to be desired, unfortunately. But it is what it is. We have also been playing a little bit of the PvP, but not like, we haven't been playing like the fucking online PvP. So what we've been doing is me and Nyx will load up a fucking, what is it? God, what's the word? Me and Nyx will load up a forested, like a heavily forested level, like the creek. We want to try it on storage facility, or the other big, like, post-Soviet level called Depot. That is basically just like a big fucking peninsula. It's huge. What we do is we load up a heavily wooded map. We get ghillie suits and bolt-action sniper rifles, and it's a deathmatch first to 5 kills in an hour. It is insane. It gets so terrifying. Also, hold up, apparently I have a hit squad after me now. Hey, we're hearing some of the new music from the mod that I updated. We're hearing Lustmord now. This is gonna be sweet. I'm gonna be terrified. But yeah, so me and Nyx will engage in like ghillie suit sniper duels over the course of an hour in a heavily wooded area, and it's horrifying. I'm fucking serious. It's the most terrifying shit ever. If there's one thing I've got, it's aim. It's so terrifying. We start, like, over the course of the match, it starts, like, obviously in the beginning we're a little bit sloppy, and usually one of us gets, like, a, you know, a pretty, like, easy kill on the other, because we're not really paying attention or being mindful of our movement and sound. But eventually, it starts to get so paranoid and tense. Like, me and Nyx have started jokingly calling it rock hunting, because after like a good like 20 to 30 minutes into the round, we start getting so paranoid that anytime we zoom in, usually there's multiple occurrences of seeing like a rock or a bush that vaguely looks like a person aiming a rifle at you, and we will either get terrified of it, or we'll shoot back. Usually we don't end up falling for it, because both of us recognize that if the rock or bush that we were looking at was actually the other, we knew that we would be dead as soon as we stopped to get a good look at it. But the later you go into the round and the more tense it becomes, you stop having those precious couple of seconds to gauge it at all. And a lot of times we'll end up revealing our position to the other and further expediting the round's process, because we'll be fucking busy hunting for rocks. This fucking guy, oh my god. I just got clapped by a bandit because he tanked all those shotgun shots wearing a fucking scientist suit. God. That was fucked up. Nick says every rock in the river is Sascha. Yeah, yeah. We just start like freaking the fuck out and being like, hold up. That looks like Nyx, or that looks like Sascha. It's horrible. And we're all the fucking way back here. I hear heresy. Oh, I see a bad man. Have you ever woken up because someone was staring at you? How do we do that? 6 cents, Buffy. Also, hi, Buffy. Chance, can you give a shout out for Buffy, please? Also, Chance says I will get it sooner or later. No rush, homie. Fucking idiot. Iris says sometimes a chair is a chair and sometimes it's your death in the next 10 seconds. 10 seconds? Oh no, 10 seconds if you're extremely fucking lucky and the chair that you're looking at isn't the other person. If you stop and it's a person, you're dead in like under a second. 9 times out of 10, I think there has only been actually one case in which I was killed by Nyx when I was looking at them. 9 times out of 10, if you're able to stop and look at something that looks like another person, it is absolutely not them, because they would have killed you as soon as they saw you. Nyx says, Buffy says, oh, hello. Yeah, no worries, Buffy. Here, let me actually deliver the shout out, because I think Chance got up to do something. Space Buffoon. Everybody go, please check out our good friend Buffy, Space Buffoon. Very funny, very enjoyable friend to watch and hang out with. An absolute pleasure to be around. Location transition successful. Only gave one place of business a new set of doors this time. Nice! Are you guys gonna shoot the rats at all? Nick says, nah, sometimes enjoying myself way too much to take the first shot. Dwop says, as has been said, camo is not to make you unseen. Camo is to give you a chance to react first. Yeah, see, you get it. It's especially true in Ground Branch because camo doesn't actually affect the AI in PvE, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Knives, welcome on in. Happy Stalker Tuesday. How are you doing tonight, friendo? It's good to see you as always. I do agree with Nyx. There have been moments where both of us have actually... Oh my god. I'm fucking up this one segment so much. There have been multiple moments where Nyx and I have perceived the other and Lily just decided to not shoot because we just wanted to toy with them a bit. Nyx did it with me a couple of times, and I did it with Nyx once because I was waiting on top of a cliff and they walked down like on the fucking ridge below me. So instead of pulling out the rifle and shooting them, I instead slid down the cliff and crept behind them as they entered a house, and then proceeded to empty my fucking gun into them at point-blank range. It was very funny. Thank you for the canteen sip, by the way, Nyx. I appreciate it greatly. Knives says having a pretty good day. Last couple of days have been great, including to make friends with a crow for an hour over French fries. That's the good shit. We love our animal friendos. Iris says, I need to do this 1v1 sniper duel with y'all because I'm a crack shot. Alright, Iris, want to do that when I'm done with tonight's stream? The winner gets to go one-on-one with Nyx, which is not the prize that it sounds like. Fucking finally. You got it? Awesome. Also, can I just say that hearing Heresy in Heresy Part 1 and Stalker is fucking horrifying? I really don't like this. Oh, this guy had a glow stick this time. Alright, I'm gonna save as soon as I get out of here real quick. I think that's for the best. Like, listen to that. Hold up. I'm gonna turn this up real quick. Give me a sec. Here we go. That's enough of that, I think. Oh. And we're at like the halfway point in the song too, so we're not even hearing the part where it just sounds like a dude fucking howling into the mic the next room over. Nick says I'm a great prize. You are, Nix. You're the best prize there ever was. Buffy says, I grew up in a tropical country, but I felt so cool wearing snow camo that I did it all the time. That's so Chad. Irisu says, for someone as blind as me, I got really good at playing War Thunder. Spotting people without markers makes for a lot of good training. That's true. Here come Chance and their friends. Got him. Oh, I gotta pull out my knife again. Did I forget to turn it to halfway? No, I didn't. Playing Stalker without the music or with the music a lot quieter really does help the immersion, I feel. Just kind of really sells that the zone is this fucked up empty shithole. Where the only things that, like... The only times it's not empty are when it's horrifying. So I'm sure y'all can understand why playing Ground Branch with this music on is fucking me up. I've mostly been playing Ground Branch to roleplay as SCP, Mobile Task Force and shit. Because what is it? Whenever I play, fucking, you know, one of the more Slavic maps, especially, Underground Facility, I immediately start thinking of SCP Overlord, and I get lots of nice little happy, warm feelings in my tummy. I feel good. The other cool thing about Ground Branch is that Spyro pointed out that the game has a custom patches system that allows you to wear any type of like custom patches like that you make. So obviously, you know, there's things like country flags, blood type. Of course, I've downloaded a bunch of SCP patches. So I'm usually going around wearing a patch that says MTF on one shoulder and the Epsilon 6 Village Idiots logo on my left shoulder. Of course, with a trans pride flag on my helmet, a patch that says MTF can often be misinterpreted, but it is funny whenever that happens. More rats? So, I've also made a ton of custom patches for our friends. So, everybody in our squad has their own custom patch. That's like a pun on their character. It's really funny. Here, you know what? Actually, since I'm here buying some weapons, let me go show you guys these real quick. Chances aren't there specific versions for MTF and FTM? I'm not sure. I just use MTF because it means Mobile Task Force. Here, peep this real quick. Hold on a second. I'm going to pull these out for just a moment. Let me find these real quick. Patches. Here we go. So, here's Nyx's patch. Here's Nyx's patch. It says burn it down because, you know, they're a dragon and funny haha. There's where is it? Where's mine? Where's mine here? Oh, here we go. Here's Iris's one. Iris is a poison dart frog, so her patch says toxic teammate. I'm really proud of these, so I'm just showing them off because fuck it. Then mine says I clean house because, you know, I'm a maid. That's the joke. I'm really proud of how they turned out. And then Spiral, of course. Spiral has one of the funniest, in my opinion. Spiral had a couple of, like, possible, like, you know, text ideas for it. She had a couple of suggestions. And I instead opted for clutch or kick. I thought it was really nice. So that's all of our patches. So I wear this one. Nyx wears this one. Iris wears this one, and Spiral wears this one. And we all go in and we dress up with our fucking characters, and we go in and we get to be tactical for a while. And it's fun. I have a great time with it. These are very clever. Thank you. Yeah, I had a blast making them, and I think I'm correct in assuming that they have a blast wearing them and all that. Fuck. Oh shit! Did I forget to save again? I forgot to save again, didn't I? Tonight's an interesting stream where it's mostly just like chatting, I think. Because I am kind of getting my ass beat out here. Yep, here we are again. Hey. One of those nights, I think. When I'm really out of practice with Stalker, I get my ass beat pretty bad. Now, where's that guy in this fucking exoskeleton at? Nick says, yep, love mine. Awesome. I need to make more. And if Chance ends up going in with us, if Chance and Mono end up joining us, they need patches, both of them, obviously. Hey, wait a minute. This motherfucker was trying to sneak up on us. Bitch-ass motherfucker. That's a W right there. I'm just kind of like focused more on chatting because I feel like there's a lot to catch up on, even though I literally streamed 2 days ago. So I'm kind of not super focused on the game. And I'm also, again, a little bit sleepy, so I'm not super in my element right now. Dwop says I'm a weirdo in the old tactical shooter thing, and that the one I've spent the most time with so far is SWAT 3. Juggling AI commands is fun and stressful. Oh yeah, I used to play a ton of SWAT 4 with Albert, and Spiral and Gib. Can mine be Rat Bastard? Yes! Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. That's really good, actually. That's really good. I'll definitely have yours be Rat Bastard, then. Mono's gonna be difficult to make one for, I think. I have to figure that one out. Oh, no wonder I'm so fucking over-encumbered. I've got 2 exoskeleton pieces that I don't need here. Yeah, I used to play a ton of SWAT 4. I had a lot of fun with it. I remember when a certain video game was first being teased, me, Albert, and Gib were all really excited for it. You know, because we were like, oh, we finally get to have a SWAT 4 successor. And then a lot of stuff happened, and we realized that playing this game when it came out would be a stupid fucking idea. So we don't play it. It would be insensitive, and also we realized that the game, when it did come out, was kind of like gratuitously edgy and dark and not really a fun time. So it was cool, but I wish the voice activation wasn't shitty. Yeah, a good friend of our channel, Daisy Bunny VR, has done SWAT 4 with voice command streams before. It's interesting, to say the least. Now, what enemies would happen to be nearby that would cause the campfire to be doing this, huh? Well, you know what it is? It's the rats. That is not a rat. That's the underbrush. Whoops. Talk, call this in. Talk, 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 talk. Yeah. Put your hands up. Because Ground Branch isn't a cop simulator, it's so much more fun. It's more like Rainbow Six. So it's just, there are bad dudes. Get rid of the bad dudes. It's easy. Rats, rats, stay out of rats. Top says I'm like 4 missions into the SWAT 3 campaign because I get my guts up to go in, and the next mission is going through a Russian Orthodox church. Interesting. One of my favorite missions in SWAT 4 was the fucking cult in a hospital. Though I think that might have been in an expansion. I think that was in Stechkov Syndicate. Or that was in a mod. Either or. I also like the one mission where it was a serial killer. Where there were like only 3 NPCs in the entire level. One of them is the dude's mom. One of them is the dude. And the third is just like a girl in his room. So like you go in and his fucking mom is like, you got no right to come in here. And then you like pepper spray or whatever and just go down and book his son for killing like 13 people. And it was great. Compared to a certain other cop simulator, right? That one didn't feel the need to show you a bunch of gore and bloody bodies everywhere. They knew how to build up the tension and create a dark atmosphere without being fucking ridiculous. Even if the game that I'm talking about, that I'm sure all of you probably know, wasn't already just like a pig simulator and therefore was not really something that anybody should be playing, it's like so gratuitously edgy and dark and gross all the time. Where it's like me and Chance had like a pretty long and winded conversation about this because we both feel the same way. It's fucking ridiculous. It sucks and it's not fun. Still no Bison shotgun. Disappointing. Let me go save real quick, actually. SWAT 3's first mission is a highway sniper, and all you're told is, alright, he's here in this 3-story townhome, we don't know where. Yeah, that's a good way of building intrigue. As it stands with tactical shooters, I've always preferred them when they're more on the, like, you know, operator side anyway. So, I was a big fan of Rainbow Six. I really liked Vegas 2. Thought it was great. I do want to stream Vegas, Rainbow Six Vegas at some point. I think that would be a really enjoyable stream. Because I love Vegas 2. I think it's great. I mean, obviously, I think its last level is kind of shit, not gonna lie, but, like, what are you gonna do? The military is here to kill me. Ah, bitch. I forgot. Saving accelerated time by a half hour. Piano gaming? What do you mean piano gaming? Rainbow Six Vegas is cool stuff. Yeah. I love Rainbow Six. I remember when I first played Rainbow Six Siege, I picked it up, like, right when Red Crow came out, I think. Yeah, it was late 2016. So right when Red Crow came out. And I remember loving Siege back then. I thought the house level was cool. I loved how its theme is just... It's cool, I love it. I spent many an afternoon coming home from community college and playing on Cafe Dostoevsky and being fucking terrified. And then the Ubisoft effect kicked in. And Rainbow Six Siege devolved into, let's see how many dumbass fucking sci-fi gadgets we can stuff into a game that used to be about police raids. Or counterterrorism raids. Let's see how many dumbass sci-fi gadgets. I mean, obviously, the game had, like, MOBA, like, elements in it from the start. So that was always bound to happen, but, like, the weird sci-fi-ification of Siege, I think that Operation Chimera was the nail in the coffin. Personally. Like, I think the stretch of... I think this, you know what, actually, you know what? I'll be honest. All the way up until when we got Zofia, right? Ella and Zofia, I think, were the last operators I remember really enjoying. So, like, the end of 2017. The stretch of late 20... Like, literally, I enjoyed Siege for, I think, a good year. Because I picked it up when Red Crow started. And then Velvet Shell was next. And then Health. And then, whatever the fuck the 2 operations that Ella and Zofia came in. They were fine too. I like those. And then after that it was ridiculous. Like the fucking, like, oh, we got like a gamer girl hacker. It's like, okay, like, maybe I'll allow it. But a guy who, like, has insane technology that picks up his, like, ID on, like, any type of visualized camera system and erases only him from it, come on, man. This is ridiculous. Like, obviously, almost every, like, year in Siege had some weird and stupid bullshit. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I think the operators in Red Crow were stupid sci-fi shit. Okay? Like, fucking, what's her name? Hibana. I used to always play as Hibana, by the way. I was a very like insufferable Hibana main. I loved her, but Hibana's ability of firing like weird fucking shape charges out of a weird ass fucking gun that all have like a spiral icon or something, and they all like do whatever the fuck they do. That's stupid. It's weird, stupid sci-fi shit. Echo's like little like Roomba that like hits you with a miniature LRAD. Also stupid sci-fi shit. And don't even get me started on fucking Jackal's foot obsession, dude. Though I did like Mira. I thought Mira was a great operator. Like, Dwap's, what is it, Chance in Rainbow Six Vegas, the mission where you break the piano and it becomes a horde mode. I have to play the original Rainbow Six Vegas because I only played 2. Dwap says, oh yeah, there's also an unofficial repack of a heavily modded classic Rainbow Six that's got all the campaigns in it. I bought a couple of Rainbow Six titles on Steam in a Rainbow Six pack. It's how I got Vegas. I think I got Rainbow Six 4, or no, I got 3. I think I got Raven Shield in that. Where is this guy, by the way? He's just kind of there. Mira and Capcan were a ton of fun. But like, I don't know. I think it was really like, it really kind of went to show how ridiculous Siege got, especially in late 2018, where it's like, oh yeah, like I think 2018 was the year where it stopped being fun. Like, oh yeah, dude, check out who broke the meta this season. It's a guy who makes you play fucking red light, green light. Dude, check out who broke the meta this season. It's a guy with a blowtorch. He has a fucking blowtorch. This is the best you can do? It's a game about a worldwide, or like a worldwide joint counterterrorism operation that employs all sorts of technology and tactics, and you break the meta with a fucking blowtorch? What is this game? I mean, also, me playing it competitively also ruined it for me. Because as soon as you start playing any type of shooter competitively, it stops being fun. It just starts being shit. I could not stand being a part of Rainbow Six Siege's, what is it, PvP. The gun balance was dog shit, yeah. I used to encounter all sorts of weird motherfuckers. I had one time, I was in a ranked match, and I just wanted a fucking guy to down me and res me. You know, and I explained that to him. I said, dude, what you want to do is you want to shoot me just enough to down me, and then you can revive me and I'll be at like 50 or 75 health. And he was adamant that I was lying and making that up and then that wasn't real, and I was trying to get him to team kill me so I could report him and ban him from the game. Which is completely absurd. And it was ridiculous. It was like, dude, I don't want you to... Why would I want to be team killed? I want to win the fucking game and I can't win it if I'm dead. I just want you to down me and res me, you dipshit. Because as soon as people learned how to down and res each other, Doc stopped being useful at all. Remember Operation Health? I remember Operation Health. I wish I didn't. There's a reason why anytime I talk about Rainbow Six Siege, I refer to it as doing my time. Like it was a prison sentence. Like it was community service, dude. Oh man, dude, I was littering. I fucking parked my car in a handicapped spot while I walked inside and fucking like left an upper decker in the subway bathroom. All right, I got stuck with the community service. I gotta do my time. I'm sentenced to like 3 months Rainbow Six Siege competitive. Fucking kill me. Health was a profound downward curve of the game getting shittier. And it's so funny, because the whole point of health was to make the game not get shittier, and it got worse. They added, like, maybe one thing that made the game slightly less horrible, and that was it. It was ridiculous. I remember White Noise. White Noise was like, okay, I guess, you know. And then what came after, what came before White Noise? What was the one that added Legion? The guy where everyone was making the memes about his cargo shorts. And what was the other operator in his DLC? I can't remember who she was. Regardless, I am going to definitively mark Operation Chimera as like the point of no return. Yeah, had to sneeze. Fuck. Give me a sec.
Что притащил?
Сталкеры, внимание!
I accidentally hit the ad break button. Dwap says, yeah, and the one thing I would remember about Siege is the whole thing that late they would have these cosplay skins. I should never have added an ad break button to my fucking stream deck. I keep accidentally hitting it. Yeah, I stopped playing before they added fucking, Sam Fisher to the game. I remember, like, the elite skins for characters, where it was like, you know, like, I had the one for Fuse. I thought Fuse's one was cool. But generally, yeah, I thought it got like worse and worse and worse. Like, I think, like, for one, the operators that they actually added in Chimera were mid as hell. One of them broke the meta in a way that I don't think the meta should have been. Like, we shouldn't have had a meta. Like, we should all, like, I think all of us, every Rainbow Six Siege player, new and old, should be ashamed for having let Chimera was the one where they added the whole PvE mode that was literally just COD Extinction, but worse. Like, they actually just ripped off COD Ghost's Extinction. Fucking verbatim.
Так, что интересует?
Yeah, O is right. And like, you had, like, Lion, who, again, I'm going to go on record here. Let me turn the game down for a bit so I can say this. Well, let me be 100% clear here. Every Rainbow Six Siege player, new and old, veteran or retired, should be ashamed for having created a game meta where all it took to make the game meta have to change drastically was a dude making you stand in place for 3 seconds. We should all be ashamed that it got to that point. I'm just saying. But that doesn't mean that Lion's ability wasn't also fucking stupid. What even was the other character's ability? I only remember like one character's ability per operation. Like, I remember Parabellum. I liked No, I can't even lie. Parabellum was stupid. Maestro had like a dumbass fucking ability. Alibi had a dumbass ability. The PvE mode sucked. And you know that Rainbow Six Extraction only exists because they put so much they put their whole ass into Chimera's mode. And they were like, well, we can't just get rid of it after one season. We gotta do something. She had the team stam, it made guns have no recoil and would pick up down teammates. Yeah. It was really funny because, like, she was the only character of, like, the two in that update that actually was useful in the PvE mode. So yeah, obviously Ubisoft was like, well, we put all this work into a PvE mode, we can't just drop it after the fucking season's over. We gotta do something. So they made a whole game about it. A whole game that is basically just like a fucking, like, expansion or a DLC for Rainbow Six Siege, where it's just like Tarkov with fucking COD Ghost Extinction in it. And the enemy designs in Extraction are actually worse than the designs were in the original Chimera version. It's ridiculous. Look, alright, I was playing Siege for a long fucking time, alright? I did my time there. Siege is why I refuse to play competitive shooters now. If I play COD, I play COD to unwind. I play COD to sit on my ass and shoot dudes and listen to high viz or enter Shikari and pretend the rest of the world doesn't exist and BM people because I know Activision is gonna do shit because they don't even do anything about BMing happening within their own company. Heyo, but when it comes to like I don't play Insurgency no more. I'm never gonna pick up Tarkov for sure. I don't play any like competitive shooter because I realized that where the problem lied. It wasn't that I was bad at competitive shooters because I can be pretty good at them. I can be pretty fucking good at them. The problem lies within the fact that as soon as the game is made competitive, I stop having fun with it. It just stops being a good time. So I say, c'est la vie. I'm going to go play Stalker, a game that is single player, and mostly just like procedural quest lines and all sorts of like weird shit that is all unscripted in a weird single player sandbox, and I'll play it for hundreds and hundreds of hours. God forbid Steam ever shows me how many hours I've sunk into Stalker Anomaly. It's been more than I can count. I think it would be horrifying to learn, and I still have a good time with it. Dwap says I decoupled myself from Rage and like 1 or 2 maps of BattleBit can be good, chill out. Yeah. It's why the only types of like, you know, like tactical shooters I play are all like PvE. So like Ground Branch being a good example. Another one being SCP-5K, which is obviously still in alpha and early development, but in the year it's been since it came out, it's already been on a really, really good path so far. And I'm proud of its development team for how far they've been coming along with that. Obviously, she needs more time in the oven, but, you know, it's still a really good foundation. And then you got Ground Branch, where obviously it has been in development for a very long time, but for a very small dev team, what they have together is actually extremely impressive, and I'm proud of everything they've pulled together. Big ups to the homies on Ground Branch. Because, like, here's the problem, right, also, is that, let's be real, playing PvE shooters with complete randos still sucks. Unless it's like a horde shooter game, like in Killing Floor, it's impossible for me to get mad at my teammates. Because in Killing Floor 2, if my teammate dies, I can still carry it and be fine. Because in Killing Floor, that's possible, right? I've sat around and watched my homies get, like, genuinely, like, mad that, like, or maybe not genuinely mad, but, like, I've sat around and seen homies get mad at, like, somebody, like, you know, leaving or not carrying their weight in an exoprimal game. So, like, PvE shooters can still suck. If the game is too heavily focused on, like, you know, like, needing other people, and those other people suck. That's why Overwatch was, like, no fucking fun to play. In TF2, if you lose, who gives a fuck? You play another round of TF2, oh man, I get to play another round on Dust Bowl and rank up my Strange Machete. Oh no. In Overwatch, if you, like, don't do good a single round, like, your entire team gets put in a shit mood and nobody has fun and all of you want to uninstall the fucking video game. You get a guy who's not pulling their weight in Exoprimal and everyone gets in a bad mood. You play Killing Floor and you have, like, a guy who's not pulling his weight. You watch him die, and then you get so much extra money because you get to kill all the Zeds you didn't kill. There are ways. There are ways to fix these problems. There are ways to fix these things that can make multiplayer games suck. There are things you can do to make this not be a problem. It's that people don't want to fix it because they think that otherwise no one's going to want to play their game. You know? You get this kind of shit where it's like, oh, we're going to design a PvE shooter that's a complete fucking skitter box, and you need to absolutely, you know, they think that, like, it pulls people together and it makes people cooperate when you make someone have to rely on some dipshit from, like, an entire continent away with shit internet who can't even aim because he's using a laptop trackpad, right? They make you think that you're not going to play their video game unless it's a competitive multiplayer shooter, thinking that gives it longevity. Motherfucker, I guarantee maybe Rainbow Six Patriots may not have been the best video game in the world. Maybe it might not have completely reinvented the tactical shooter wheel. But I guarantee you, if Rainbow Six Patriots had come out instead of Siege, I'd still be playing Patriots today. I probably would have picked it up at least like once every year and said, let me play through Patriots again. I thought it was cool, you know? But we don't do that. Here we are. Instead, they released a fucking live service tactical shooter that is way too many years beyond its expiration date, and it's been run into the ground by a company that has forgotten what the whole point of the fucking game is. Sometimes I open up the original teasers and cutscenes when you first load up Rainbow Six Siege with the fucking director talking about the, talking about the fucking, what is it, Article 9 and the whole college terrorist attack and shit, and there's like such like a really cool kind of like unifying and like unity and strength kind of vibe to them, where you got this really intense music and it's like, this is what we train you for, and it's dudes loading their fucking guns and putting on their armor vests, and you're like, this is cool, I can't wait to play Siege. And then you load up Siege, and it's a bunch of guys running around saying the N-word and team killing you because you didn't heal them quickly enough. Or you end up going down a bunch of competitive levels because you thought that the most important thing about a video game is an arbitrary little gold or silver medal next to your name every time you load up the fucking multiplayer. I hate multiplayer shooters, man. I know it's gonna make me sound like fucking, like, I know, like, obviously this is, like, getting into, like, Wings of Redemption territory with the takes on games, but, like, I'm sorry, dude, but, like, the modern live service approach to video games, especially FPS titles, I think that the modern boomer shooter movement would not have existed if it wasn't for this incessant push for competitive live service multiplayer FPS titles. Mark my fucking words. Alright, we got mutants to kill. I'm gonna get up and, what do you mean enemies? We're in the cordon. What enemies, dude? I just got a lot to say about these games, because I used to play them a lot, you know? I used to play a lot of CSGO, a lot of Rainbow Six Siege. I used to play Modern Warfare 2019 and actually care about whether or not I won or lost a match. Now I play Modern Warfare 2 and I made an entire build that's just made to be like a cowboy, where we got like a throwing knife and a lever action rifle that's a mare's leg and an old fucking 44 Magnum, you know? Once you start playing these games to have actual fun, it's like so much more enjoyable and memorable. Obviously, the competitive mindset is something you can shed while still playing a game in its competitive mode, but like that takes so much mental strength. And I'm sorry, dude. I'm a traumatized 27-year-old trans woman who is not able to afford therapy or medication specifically for, you know, like handling things like depression and ADHD. I'm an unmedicated, traumatized trans woman. I don't have time to learn the patience to play competitive games and not get mad, dude. I got shit to do. I got things to make. Hey. This has been an eventful stream. Thank you for the tea time, by the way, Nix. I will absolutely put that tea on as soon as I'm done with this, as soon as I, figure out how the fuck to save. Why are enemies nearby? I'm 32, but same. Yeah. I stopped taking those SSRIs back in 2021. Also, welcome on in, Dorothy. Good to see you as always. I'm trying to get on ADHD medication. But, like, I haven't been able to find a fucking psychiatrist that takes my insurance, bruh. At this point, considering I'm kind of like, you know, gonna have to switch insurance policies anyway, I'm probably just gonna search for the one that the most psychiatrists take. Ouch. This is ridiculous. Why can't I save? You know, I'm just gonna save by sleeping for an hour. I'm gonna cheat the system, baby. Yeah. Can't nobody tell me which way is left. Alright. After that, cathartic airing of the grievances about PvP shooters and competitive games, I'm going to get up and piss and take a quick little BRB break, and then probably put my tea kettle on. So feel free to get up, get yourself a snack, do whatever the fuck you want. We'll be back in a little bit, friends. I love you all. See you soon. Alright, I'm back. Good evening, everybody. Hope you're all having a good time. Hope you're all enjoying your stay. Always good to see you guys in here. Let me, bring us on back down to the bar. Just a moment. Is that on? Yes, it is. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. As always, it's wonderful to have you all in my chat tonight. It means the world to see you all just, coming down and saying hi and chilling with me and chatting with me about whatever the fuck I chat about, even if it's, me going on an extended rant about competitive shooters that I don't even play anymore. I guess, the conversation goes where it goes. That being said, always lovely to see you all. I'm having a good time, even though I die maybe 20 fucking times on the same, area. But you know what? Anytime I take an extended break from Stalker, I end up having this happen. It is what it is. Also, being a fucking live 2D VTuber, there's a lot more moving parts I gotta keep an eye on when I play, I can't play it earlier like I used to a year ago, but it's okay. I do my best. Nix, you redeemed the tea time. I'm putting on, I don't really know if I want any green tea right now, because the coffee from earlier is finally, kind of starting to really kind of juice me up. And I'm probably not going to be having some more caffeine until I decide to play some Ground Branch with you and Iris later, if that ends up being where the night takes us. So, I'm going to have some Golden Pumpkin, because I'm feeling a little bit achy after work today. So I think some turmeric might be good for my body. It's going to be nice. Vex says, I missed the halftime dance. It's quite alright, friend. I'm sure you'll always have another opportunity. Hey, let me see here. I think that's about all for the night. I see we had a big dab party in the chat, though. That is very funny. I love to see the dabbing. No matter what happens, I'm always going to keep those emotes, because Rocco did a really nice job on making these nice little funny emotes. I like having, cutesy little anime-style ones, but I also like having very creature ones. This is me hinting that I may or may not hit up Buffy to make some emotes for me. I think that would be an absolute pleasure. I'll have to go run up in their DMs. What's the last thing I sent Buffy? I see. I forgot the first thing Buffy sent me was was a screenshot of Fap and Cum Simulator on Steam. Anyway, we loves Buffy's emotes. Buffy's emotes are great if you know channels like Nyx and Chance and Ellie and Bonnie and Pinch are a good enough example. As is Iris, all wonderful friends of ours and have very, very nice and cute little creatures. Strange DMs. They are not the strangest DMs I've ever received, actually. Hi, Kim Tustis, by the way. Welcome on in. Good to see you up in here tonight. Hope you're doing well, boss. We just got back from the halftime break. Having some tea, chilling the fuck out. How's your day been, King? Ugh, God. As soon as the stream's over, I'm just gonna sit down and listen to more Touche Amore, I think. God, I love that band so fucking much. I want to see him live. I want to see him live, but they better not play anything from stage 4 or else I'm gonna have a heart attack. Let's head back to the game then. Actually, no, hold up. You know, I'm gonna wait for a little bit longer. Hey, what's up, Joey? Is cool. Welcome on in. Give me a sec to pour up my tea real quick. Yeah, beep, 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 beep to you too, motherfucker. Oh, yes. Golden pumpkin with a nice full of processed honey. That's the good shit. 85% of my goods are from Buffy. I vouch hard. Buffy's a wonderful friend of our community. We love Buffy. One's in chat if you love Buffy. Listen, alright, I'm pretty sure Buffy's spaceships and starfighters probably run on some type of weird future fuel, so I gotta find another excuse to gas them up. I said one's in chat if you love Buffy, Chance. Now that I've got my tea poured up, let's head on down into the game, shall we? Hold up, that's weird. There's the fucking thing again. I nuked my ears with Spotify on accident. Unfortunate. Alright, let's get back into it, shall we? Alright. Oh, shit, I gotta make a timer for my tea. I gotta put on a timer for my tea. Shit. You know, I've been using the same skin for my phone's, like, you know, kind of like main home screen for like 2 years, 2.5 years now. And it has a lot of really cool features, one of them being like a little app ring where anytime an app has a notification I haven't read yet, it has a little blue blip next to it. And the middle of the circle shows me what time it is, what day of the week it is, and what day of the month it is, as well as what month it is. But the interesting thing is that there are these little blue lines. It basically, like, forms these dotted lines on the outside that I don't understand. And I realized each little line on the outside of the clock is a day of the week. So it's Tuesday, so there's 2 lines on it so far, and on Wednesday there will be 3. It took me 2.5 years to realize that. Kim Tussis says I need some chicken soup to ride out my fever. I would happily make you some chicken soup if I could. I've never actually prepared a soup from scratch though, so like you're good with like Progresso or something, right? You're good with like the fucking like Progresso. You're good with that, or like Campbell's or something. Oh, thank you for the 45 bits, Dorothy. Congrats on having the #1 spot for today, which Medi Arachnia claimed last night by donating 2 bits out of nowhere. Ay. God. I'm not gonna lie, I could go for some soup too. I want to make some borscht at some point. I want to learn how to make borscht. Speaking of that, hold up. Before I forget, I'm gonna do this while I'm streaming because I give no fucks. Documents. There we go. I sent Nyx my lasagna recipe. Your partner makes amazing soup. Lovely. Yeah, burgers and other types of, like, burgers, desserts, and, like, a lot more Italian things are generally my thing. And by Italian things, I mean lasagna and nothing else. But I do make a killer lasagna, which I just sent the recipe of to Nyx because I've been meaning to do that. Chance says burger. Chance, if we ever hang out IRL, I need to make you the fucking pepper jack jalapeno burgers that I make. Where I, like, chop up jalapeno peppers into the actual, into the fucking, chopped meat. And I fry that up. And then I put pepper jack cheese on top. It's really good. I'm being shot at by bad dudes, aren't I? Sascha Feather. You know, mercs normally don't come out here into the cordon, so I'm willing to bet this is my hit squad. And they're currently at odds with the military. Don't know when that will happen, but that's a free kiss. Ah, you're too kind. Sascha Feather says, we need backup. We're under attack by the military. Dorothy says they make great vegan food. Makes a sad girl who can't eat dairy and meat anymore very happy. That's valid. Dorothy, may I take a guess? Do you have that tick disease that makes eating like dairy and meat and like that kind of stuff no longer possible? Or is it like a choice thing? Either way, very valid. Ooh, I domed that guy. Oh, that was a good shot. Hostiles up top. He thinks I don't see him, but I do. That's the sound of a man dying. But he was shooting at somebody that wasn't me. Because none of those shots were ricocheting around me. So that's worrisome. Let's hope I don't get jump scared while I take the bag out of this team. What? Oh, wait. I hear somebody loading a weapon. I hear somebody loading a weapon. I hear somebody loading a fucking weapon. Yep. He knows I'm here for sure. I have an idea. I'm gonna call my backup. Got him. That was actually kind of fucked. That was like a standoff. That was like, I got stuck here, and this dude knew I was here, and he was just going buck. That was crazy. That was kind of spooky. He had a sawed-off KS-23. And he kept, like, trying to fire to, like, either lure me out of cover or, like, suppress me and keep me from firing on him. Shit was wild. Ouch! Nope, somebody's still alive. Hold up, don't come this way. Oh no, Dorothy, I wasn't referring to Lyme's disease. I have that, though. Yeah, there's another soldier up there. Alright, he's down. Yeah, that standoff was mad spooky. But unfortunate to see that another sniper took that guy's place, but I already dropped him, so we're good. So I probably should have been more careful, but I didn't expect another guy to immediately run up to the sniper's nest and do that. I don't know the diseases very well. There's a tick disease that's starting to become a little bit more common right now, where if you get bit by one, you can't basically have any type of mammal product, including, like, you know, obviously red meat, dairy, butter, things like that. I developed lactose and meat intolerance. I have GERD too, so this food's very hard for me to process too. Hey yo, gastroesophageal reflux disease gang. Where you at? I'm here. It sucks. Why do you think I keep muting my mic to clear my throat all the time? Oh man. Yeah, no, I have Lyme's disease actually. Well, had and have. I know I talked about it on stream once, but I got paralyzed from the waist down for a good while. Well, I kind of like was slowly losing the ability to move my right leg over the course of like a month, and then at the very end of the month, I literally like could not move my legs at all. And it was because I had a really bad case of Lyme's disease from, you know, obviously a tick that I did not actually like bother to do anything to or didn't even realize I had. Are you gonna fucking die, dude, yet? This suit's made of sterner stuff than No, don't drink the crystal water, you idiot. I guess you're gonna need more water after you get, glad you're doing better now. I mean, if it helps, that was 13 years ago. Actually, no, it was longer. That was 2009. That was 2009. October of 2009. And it was a little bit weird that I got, like, blood tested by pediatricians and everything, and I said it last time, but, like, wild that it was exactly around the time when usually you start seeing people's, you know, like, tick diseases start to really flare up because summer vacation is over and everyone's been playing outside and all the fucking time. So, like, you'd think that, like, a pediatrician would know to test for Lyme's disease in a blood test if a kid comes up and starts showing what is verifiably a symptom of Lyme's disease, and is asking for, you know, obviously is getting a blood test to see if they might have something, and then you don't test for it. I should have cursed my fucking pediatrician's name when I was sitting in the hospital in the fucking ER with Family Guy on the TV. This is interesting. I shot a guy and I could have sworn I heard him actually die, but there's only one body here. Oh well. An AK-12. Don't want it. Wasn't I in the process of looting that merc down below when I got shot at? Yeah, don't get Lyme's disease, kids. What's whack is I have no clue how it could have happened. Like, I remember finding a tick on me sometime in September, but, like, he must have been on me for a very long time before I finally noticed him. And I was taking a lot of, you know, obviously I was showering every day back then, so I don't know how I didn't see him. You do not want to fuck with ticks, dude. They're bad fucking news. You know, the merc's body seems to be gone, too. I wonder if he just despawned. No, here it is, actually. Oh, no, this is a different merc. Hey, here's Pashka Feather. A Galil arm. Don't want it, sorry. Beretta M9. Don't want it, sorry. Dorothy says, I think my body can't digest the daily fats either because I drank a daily derivative with no lactose and it still made me dairy sick. Interesting. What do you use for your dairy substitutes? I tend to stick to soy. My parents used to think I was lactose intolerant back when I was a kid. I never really got to eat ice cream with all the other kids and shit. So I was mainly drinking... I was drinking rice milk, actually, as a kid. I used to drink a lot of rice milk, and I thought the rice milk tasted really nice. I also really enjoyed, like, soy, like, silk, very vanilla, because it kind of, like... It kind of reminded me of, like, the few times I did eat ice cream. And I liked that. So, eventually I just started drinking regular milk for, you know, like, for most of my life. And then at some point, I think around, like, 2018, I just went back to soy anyway. And now it's gotten to the point where, like, I can't even eat dairy or drink dairy, because, like, regular dairy milk just tastes gross to me, because I'm so used to soy. Nick says I can't drink soy, I gotta do, like, oat or coconut. I tried oat. Oat's okay. Coconut milk, I don't think I could do. Soy usually, almond, cashew, and coconut. Big ups for almond milk. for being literally the worst thing to ever make cappuccinos with. And if you came into my job when I was still working at the coffee shop and asked for anything made of almond milk, I would proceed to stare you down and try to explode you with my mind. I forgot cashew milk exists. I've never had cashew milk, but I have eaten cashew butter on things and very much enjoyed it. Cashew butter slaps. Chances I only ever got ticks once, specifically because I'd sleep on our big black Labrador. Oh, that's cute. See, I never get ticks anymore. Because the only times I ever go outside are when I'm, like, you know, fucking going for my midnight walk, and I'm always staying on a sidewalk anyway, where there's, like, no plants. I don't go for ticks. I don't go for ticks until until I'm sure that I've entered a season where ticks aren't happening. But see, that's not really possible anymore, because I found a tick on my fucking Chihuahua in November last year. Motherfucking ticks in November. Ridiculous, dude. Bullshit, even. But yeah, like, even when it isn't tick season, I'm still wary as fuck about going for hikes, because that one time in late 2017 that I, like, went for a hike with Zilly in, like, a swampy, like, little marshy area, and I ended up, everybody calls them different things, and apparently the one word that I know a lot of people use to refer to these things, like, the most commonly, is, I think, scientifically inaccurate, and also, I'm sorry, but it sounds way too similar to a racial slur for me to feel comfortable saying it. But, like, those really tiny little bastards that get on your foot, like, on your feet and your legs and your arms and shit, and they all just bite you, and there's, like, tons of the little shits, and when you get them off, you're covered in, like, itchy and painful red bumps for weeks. Yeah, Nix, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know what they're actually called, but I must have stepped in a nest of them once, back in 2017. We call those red bugs where I come from, as to not say the name. Red bugs, berry bugs, everyone's got different names for them. But yeah, so I must have stepped in a nest of them back in 2017, and gotten them all over my fucking leg. It sucked, dude. It sucked so bad. It was the worst shit in the world, and I would never visit it on another person. And that wasn't even the worst medical incident that I had in the autumn of 2017. The other one I don't even want to talk about. It was bad, dude. Harvest mites, harvest bugs, harvest lice, mowers mites, or red bugs. I see. What a strange creation of God. Nah, God wouldn't make something like that if he was real. Let me get some honey in my tea since we're at a safe area. Red bugs suck. Yeah, I've only gotten them once and I would never wish them on my worst enemy. Fuck that. Nix, is I used to have a deal with those and ticks when I was in charge of a hunting ground. Oh god, I don't know how you did it, Nixie. Harvest mice is the British term. Ah, right. And we got lots of harvest mites here in British. Yeah. This gal's tough. You sure are, Nixie. How admirable. Please sell me a bison shotgun, dude. Me and my friends used to go junk diving in a huge raven. I think you mean ravine. I think that might have been an autocorrect error. So we got ticks and mites all the time. Oh, dude. Fuck that. You couldn't pay me. Actually, no. I used to hang out in a drainage sump behind a pizzeria, near my house back when I was in like middle school. Because I thought that I thought the fact that there was literally just like a big sort of artificial valley, in like the back of like a little like shopping outlet was mad weird to me. But yeah, with the fact that it was a big drainage sump, so it was just tons of tall grass and weeds and all that kind of shit. I don't know how I didn't get super fucking bad tick bites on me whenever I went in there. Maybe I'll go check it out again next this winter. Dorothy's pretty lucky with injuries. None really that bad. Well, I'm proud of you. I've been okay when it comes to injuries. Like, I've never broken a bone. And I up until, you know, the infamous Knocked Loose incident, you know, the infamous Sascha goes to a hardcore punk concert for the first time in, you know, like, what, 2 years? No, 3, actually. The infamous Sascha goes to a hardcore punk concert for the first time in 3 years, event where I ended up getting, like, an actual, like, you know, wound suture for the first time in my entire life. I remember dudes in my elementary school being like, "Oh yeah, I got in this one bike accident, or I got a bad skateboarding accident. I had to get stitches and shit." And I'm like, "Dude, you're like 9, dude. What?" And it was wild. And then I was like, "Well, I've never really broken any bones or anything, and I haven't even had to have stitches either." And that changed real fucking quick when some wacko wasn't looking where their feet were going in the pit. I've been in like multiple car accidents. Well, one major car accident and a couple of incidents of me backing into other people's vehicles in my driveway. Actually, no, I did get in technically 2 car accidents, but only one of them was like one where my, like, you know, either of the cars was like actually like badly damaged enough to be totaled. And I was completely unharmed. Thank God. Or at least I punched through a window at 3. Good heavens. Couldn't get me to do that. Couldn't pay me. I'm really skeevy about broken glass, which is weird because I ended up actually having a dream once where I was attempting to pick up broken glass. I had multiple dreams involving broken glass. One of them was me attempting to pick up the shards of it and was doing to my hands exactly what you'd think it would do. And the other was one that I don't even want to describe, because I think it would have to come with several trigger warnings. Now I just dream about spiders all the fucking time. Which apparently most dream analysts claim is symbolic of you feeling like you are trapped and not feeling like you're in control of a situation. Which I believe 100%. Vex, it happens. Me and my cousin accidentally cut each other busting glass at 7 because we were bored. Didn't know about shrapnel. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. See, the equivalent of that for me is I live near a beach. So what happens is there's like a storm surge wall. So like when you go to the beach, there's like a big wooden wall, and at the top of the wall is obviously the lawn of somebody's beach house. But, you know, there is like a storm surge wall. So if the tide gets really, really high, you know, it doesn't like, you know, you don't have to worry about it getting too close to your shit or anything. And it basically just, you know, protects you from waves or whatever. But so we go to the beach and we pick up all the seashells and shit on the, on the beach, and we'd hurl them into the fucking wall as hard as we could. We'd also do it with glass. I'm going to die of exposure to burnt fuzz, and I don't care. I need to get to base pronto. Five stitches in my thumb and 4 in my face. Yikes. Well, good thing I saved just now anyway. Yeah, see, just do what I do and throw seashells at shit. She throws seashells by the seashore. And sometimes beach glass, I don't know. Trying to get my brother's attention outside, so I started hitting the window. Oh, you didn't do it intentionally, I see. Yeah, I think like one of the only times where I've gotten like, you know, an incident that had to do with like glass or was significant enough that I actually like had to address it at all was an instance where I woke up and started getting ready for work, and while I was asleep that day, someone in my house threw a fucking ceramic mug in the kitchen, and hastily cleaned it up, and didn't bother to tell me that they had thrown a ceramic mug and hastily cleaned it up. So I went out to the kitchen, and I got my coffee, and I'm like, hey, why does this feel like I stepped on a thorn or something? Ow! Ow, 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 ow! And I look down, and I'm bleeding, and there's a fucking ceramic shard on the fucking floor, and I'm like, my god, dude, I stepped on fucking broken ceramic in my goddamn kitchen barefoot because I just wanted to go get my coffee. It sucked. I hate navigating the burnt fuzz anomalies. This tea tastes good, though. Very good, 10 out of 10. I think I'm gonna finally make a move to kick coffee and just replace it with hot chocolate and Ovaltine and shit. Sticking to green tea should help me keep caffeine up while not, you know, burning the fuck out of my shit. If it doesn't get any better, I'll just, you know, ask my doctor for some fucking omeprazole and put a band-aid on it. Thankfully, my, what is it, my reflex and shit, it acts up pretty bad if I drink soda, especially cola. Like, if I just drink root beer, it's whatever, but, like, cream soda and cola and shit makes it act up real bad. But it's never going to be as bad as it used to be when I was doing vocals in my car. I probably cut myself doing miniatures that might have needed stitches, but I just grabbed the super glue nearby. Jesus fucking Christ, Dorothy. I think maybe that's a little bit too graphic. Well, I don't know. I suppose that would be semi-hypocritical since we're playing a game where, like, gory shit happens on a regular basis, but still. Kim Tussis has applied nothing but the most painful salt, rubbing alcohol and lemon juice to all wounds she sustains. Chad said I would say a joke about kissing it to make it feel better, but I ain't about feet. We, too, share this value. Ah, there's the blowout alert. I killed your mutants. Did I forget to get a job from Fnatic? Yes, I did. See, it's funny you bring that up, Kim Tustis, because that brings us back to the scene I was talking about from Green Room earlier on in the stream, in which a character sustains some of the most fucking horrendous wounds imaginable. And, motherfucker, they have, like, no, you know, like, medical supplies or anything, so they have to make do with duct tape and vodka. It's horrible. The tools for that shit are so... Yeah. I did my time working on Warhammer figurines. You ain't gotta tell me twice. Ooh. The wounds I sustained doing 40k. Well, granted, when I was making 40k figurines, 40k figurines, wounds figurines, 40k miniature figurines. When I was doing 40k figurines, I was using, like, that weird sort of, like, acetone shit that, like, melts the plastic, and, what is it? You know, like, makes it, like, stick together, and, I used to have tons of, like, burns and like, you know, like, fucking calluses and shit on my fingers from working with that stuff. God, I still have my 40k army. I'm trying to sell it. Who wants a 40k army? I got a Storm Raven, a bunch of Terminators. I used to do Warhammer, but I don't really have anybody else to play it with. I don't remember where I keep my codex and rule books. And, also, it's just a really fucking, like, annoying game to play. Granted, I still think that Warhammer 40k proper is more fun to play than, like, Total War Warhammer. Because, like, I don't really like that most, like, Warhammer video games are all, like, 4X and fucking, Also, thank you, Chloe Sunflora, for the tier 1 sub. Enjoy your 9-month streak. Hope you're doing well this evening. But no, I don't really like how, like, a lot of, like, Warhammer, like, official games that happen to be strategy are all, like, 4X and RTS shit. I like that actual Warhammer 40k is more of, like, a tactics, like a turn-based tactics game. Gouge yourself working on Gunpla. See, as soon as I started, like, as soon as I undertook the task of putting together my fucking Sazabi, getting a kit full of tools to build that bitch was probably the best decision I ever could have made. Because as soon as I started working on a goddamn RG Zaku 2, I realized that not using tools, like, just using my fucking Manscaped grooming kit with, like, the scissors and file was not going to suffice. I needed to get some actual model building tools. I still remember that Bell Huey helicopter I built with my dad. Painted that bitch and all. We didn't thin our paints though. That was a bad call, I think. Who remembers the thin your paints video? I played fantasy for the longest time. Then they killed off my orc leaders and my WoW was ruined. A Dark Eldar army and a Guard army. Ooh, nice. Yeah, looking back, I think I probably would have had a lot more fun if playing 40k if I stuck with, like, an orc army. Because I was one of those fucking, like, I was one of those shitty Ultramarine shitheads who's like, oh, the Space Marines are the best, I love the Space Marines, I gotta kill all the Xenos, dude, I gotta purge the heretics, I gotta play as the big Space Marine boys. And it sucked. Because the Space Marines don't play in the game like they actually act in the actual, you know, like, lore. They're way too expensive, and they don't really have a whole lot of, like, fun to their army. They just suck. Like, the best part about the Empire is everything that isn't the actual Space Marines. Like, fuck, I'll take, like, the Psychers over them, dude. Like, the Stormwolves are somewhat interesting, but, like, let's be real, dude. Every, like, 10 things a Space Marine can get done, like, for every, like, thing that takes, like, 10 Space Marines, you can get that done with, like, 1 Tech Priest. Those dudes are nuts. But I wish I'd played Orcs, because Orcs are so much fucking cooler. Yes, they are based. They're based, they're fun as hell. Imagine a fucking entire faction where you're on, like, a factory planet, and it's generally just a factory, but you blink and all of a sudden it's Mad Max. That's what the Orcs are like. It's nuts. They're so fucking cool. And the fact that their WAs are basically a mixture between a holy war and a bar fight. I like hitting hard as fuck, and quick, so Eldar is perfect. One of my friends used to really love playing Eldar. We had someone who was into Tau. I got my ass beat by a Necron player once. See, I wasn't very good at strategizing or being tactical when it came to playing as Ultramarines, so my Storm Talon was effectively a kamikaze fighter. I Jag the Slaughter, the Wyvern Rider. He can destroy regiments before people even move. Yikes. Warhammer Fantasy is a whole other fucking ordeal. Or at least it was before, you know, Games Workshop went out of their way to basically say, hey, don't play Warhammer Fantasy anymore, dipshit. Thanks. I used to like Tau and Necron. Necrons are cool. I really gotta play fucking 40k Mechanicus. I've owned that game for a while, and I really want to play it because it's so fucking cool. I think the Necrons are fantastic. Like, it's the funny thing is, like, every single goddamn, like, race and civilization in 40k is cool, except for the Marines. The Tech Priests are interesting, you know? You got the Orcs, the Necrons are super fucking cool. I'll even throw in a couple of good words for the Tau, but, God, don't play their video game. Ugh. Haven't played that one yet, but it seems good. Yeah. And then you got the Tyranids. The Tyranids are wild. I mean, look, you know you've made a really, really solid, like a really, really fucking solid universe and setup of races and civilizations when fucking Blizzard just wholesale rips you off. Because for those who don't know, StarCraft would not exist without 40k. Because everything in StarCraft is just 40k. The Zerg are just the Tyranids, but they have, like, big titty alien bitches instead of unearthly atrocities, which I think is a downgrade. I think unearthly atrocities, not of this universe, into big titty bitches is a downgrade. You could quote me on that. I don't care. The Nids are great. I love the Tyranids. I love the wacky little gene-stealing fellas. They're cool. StarCraft and Warcraft are supposed to be Warhammer games. Exactly. and that's the funny thing. That's the funny thing. Is Blizzard basically just ripped off Warhammer and 40k with Warcraft and StarCraft. I think it's because they cut the warp out for StarCraft. Yeah, see? That's why StarCraft sucks, because there's no chaos. Imagine, like, StarCraft, if it had, like you know, fucking Nurgle and what's her name, Tzeentch and Slaanesh and all that. If StarCraft had the forces of chaos, it would be way fucking cooler. But it doesn't. But yeah, no, like fucking Blizzard literally just ripped off Warhammer for their Warcraft and StarCraft properties, and then they have the gall to be upset that somebody made Dota out of a Warcraft 3 mod. Like, rules for thee and not for me, huh, Bethesda? Fuck you too. Bethesda. Sorry, I got Bethesda on my mind right now. I'm not buying Starfield, sorry. I'm broke. Generally speaking, I think it's a pretty good rule of thumb that if you see somebody who plays Warhammer 40k and plays the Marines and is like really, really into playing the Marines, generally speaking, you probably want to keep an eye on that motherfucker. I'm just saying. Warhammer made the Tyranids look more like the Zerg. Yeah, that is funny, isn't it? What a weird little world we live in. No Bison shotguns still. I think I'll buy an SVD off. Well, hold up. Who has the better Three Stalkers is better. I'll go repair that SVD then. Waiting for Starfield to have ended its release process. Yeah, I forgot about that. Like, Starfield isn't even out on everything yet anyway. Like, I haven't even bought Baldur's Gate 3. I'm too busy with shit, and I'm too broke, man. I don't really have the time to put into another, like, whole-ass RPG like that. Maybe, you know, something like, something a little bit more, like, focused and contained, like, what's it called? Disco Elysium. But, I don't really think Baldur's Gate is a game I can get into. Listen, all I'm saying is the last time I let, like, everybody on the internet tell me that an RPG, that, like, a Western RPG was, like, the best fucking thing to have come out in like a decade, and that I needed to play it, I ended up buying Witcher 3. And I bought it, and I didn't end up... none of the information in like its 50 fucking tutorials in the first 2 hours actually sunk in for me. Then I put it down for like 2 years. And I picked it up and I said, maybe I misjudged this game. And then the exact same thing happened. I'm not saying that Baldur's Gate 3 is like Witcher 3 in any capacity, because from what I can tell, Baldur's Gate is actually a game with like substance in it. And it's not just a fucking huge hype baby. Baldur's Gate 3 looks like an actual game that I can enjoy, primarily because it's an isometric perspective, which allows you to have a lot more fun with what you do. It's not as much of the game's development was focused on making this big fucking super detailed ass sandbox world. It's a proper CRPG, and I think that makes it worthy of a lot more praise than any Witcher title, like just sheerly by that nature. But still, like, I'm sorry, but like, I just don't have time for RPGs. Like, I've been thinking about playing Omori for a good long while, and originally I wanted to wait until after I you know, had my Live 2D re-debut before I picked up fucking Omori. And then after the Live 2D re-debut, I was like, let me wait until after I've beaten Signalis. And then I beat Signalis, and it was like, I don't know, bro. I don't think I have the time or the energy for this. Like, people have been telling me that Signalis, what is it? Signalis is a really, really solid, or no, that Omori is a really solid game, and also it's gonna fuck me up. I don't care if it fucks me up. Honestly, I hope it does. I love when games have a lasting emotional impact on me. But it's just like, I've heard Omori is a long fucking game, and I'm sorry, but like, 2D JRPG games, I can't keep my fucking focus going. Like, I can do it with Undertale, because Undertale's really short. Once you look at it, like, you know, from like perspective, like a matter of perspective, Undertale is mad short, dude. It's over really quickly. But it still gives you a really lasting thing. But like, Omori is huge, dude. And at this point, I've kind of resigned that, like, I don't really think I can stream Omori, because it would basically be a game that I'd have to stream for a really long time. On top of that, I don't really know how I could like find a way to like spin the thing, because I've talked about it before. Let me read some of these chat messages real quick. Baldur's Gate 3 lets you play as trans people, and unlike Cyberpunk, your identity isn't tied to voice. Baldur's Gate 3 might be the first game I've played that lets you be non-binary. That's cool. I know Black Ops Cold War did too, but that was Black Ops Cold War, and we don't talk about that. Bob said Bethesda games take yonks to get to GOG. Fallout 4 dropped in 15, DLC in 16. Fallout 4 GOG dropped this year. Yeah. This is weird about that. But point being, when I used to kind of try and play some RPGs on stream, before I was a VTuber. And I think before I was even Sascha. One good example being when I was playing Fallout 1 and Fallout New Vegas on stream. I didn't get very far in Fallout 1 because I didn't plan my build out very well, and I also didn't know where to go because Fallout 1 is relatively cryptic. But I got through like a good DLC and a half because I beat Honest Hearts and then got pretty far into Lonesome Road in New Vegas, and I just kind of stopped doing it because like New Vegas is weird. I don't know if a friend of mine might have actually said this before, and this is where I got this idea. I think it might have been a good friend of mine, Lila Morningstar, might have also echoed this sentiment. But, like, or it might have been somebody else. I do love Fallout 1. Fallout 1 is so bleak and fucked up and dark and fantastic. The fucking music that plays in The Glow is gonna stick with me forever. I think The Glow is a great example of Fallout 1 basically being a horror game. Fallout 1 basically is a horror game, especially when you get to, like, you know, like, anytime you do fast travel and you get interrupted by a random encounter and you just sit there and the isometric screen makes it look like there's literally nothing around you. So for all you know, you could be in hundreds of miles of, like, completely empty desert with nobody in sight. That's terrifying. It's really fucking scary. And the song that plays in it, God, Fallout 1's soundtrack is good. But, like, the problem is that RPG games have a little bit of, like, a common issue I've noticed whenever, like, you know, you stream them. It's that, for one, especially JRPGs. Like, CRPGs have enough, like, actual, like, dialogue choices to that, you know, keeps things interesting. Because CRPGs actually let you roleplay as a character, you know? You have your own choices you make in the story, you have a big impact on the story, and what kind of character you want to play as impacts that. It also greatly impacts your playstyle. But, like CRPGs are fantastic, you know? Like fucking Planescape Torment, fucking Arx Fatalis, all that other shit. Great. But, like, when you get to, like, JRPGs, it's very difficult to keep the gameplay interesting, because anytime you're not in gameplay, it's just kind of like visual novel cutscenes, or at least it kind of starts to feel like that, because you're not really actually, like, having any part of the story. And the gameplay itself is, like, turn-based stuff, which is fun to play, but it's not super interesting to watch. And the other, like, again, that's kind of my other issue with JRPGs, is, like, I don't really enjoy JRPGs that much, because it doesn't really feel like you have a lot of impact on the story. I'm not role-playing, I just get to be this certain guy. Sure, I can choose what kind of a fighter he is, but I can't get to choose what kind of person he is. Outside of what quests I want to complete and which ones I don't. You know? I can't choose to play the chosen one who's gonna save the world, and instead turn coat and join the villain and do some completely evil shit, like eating babies or something, you know? I can't do that. Oh, it's bandits. Oh, this will be easy. Dipshit. Shit. I keep hitting C to crouch because I think I'm playing Ground Branch, but I keep accidentally fucking wiping off my mask. Oh, he's rushing me, huh? It's a standoff, I see. I got you where I want you, bitch. So, the issue number one with streaming an RPG, depending on what kind of game you're playing, the gameplay might be kind of difficult to keep interesting. Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like playing Stalker is like the most interesting thing in the world, but Persona lets you choose a lot. It's all about choice and time management, but I can't think much more RPGs than that. Well, this is the thing, though, right? You can, like, the thing about JRPGs, like Persona 5, for example. Yes, you do get to choose a lot, but no matter what choices you make, the choices you make are generally who you fuck, or just who you go on a date with, I guess, is the better example of it, because it's a Persona title. So it's who you are romantically involved with to a degree, what classes you want to take, and what skills you level up. But generally speaking, the combat loop is always going to be the same, and no matter what, you are always just playing as Joker, the dude who beat up a guy once and then, you know, got sent to do community service, and now he, you know, like, steals people's hearts when they're evil. Like, you know, like, you can't decide to change, like, your overall, like, sort of, like, you know, fighting style. Like in an RPG, you can choose to main, like, melee weapons, or like, you know, sniper rifles, or shotguns, or explosives, and things like that. There's a lot you can control over your combat in a CRPG. You can specialize. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Is that I think my big issue with JRPGs when it comes to their combat systems is you can't specialize yourself, you know? You can't say, I want to be a melee-only character. You can't say, I want to play the heavy weapons guy, like you can in Fallout New Vegas, where I can literally use the boxing gloves, the pump shotgun, and the minigun, and I can literally play as the heavy. Or something to that effect, you know? And you can't choose to join the bad guys and decide that you want to, you know, maybe nuke an entire town, or eat human flesh, or you know, like, do shit like that. Or I don't know, what is it? Maybe, like, maybe lead an unsuspecting shopkeeper to her death via a rooftop sniper, just because you don't like how she looks at you, you know? The JRPGs, obviously, I'm kind of simplifying a lot because I don't really play a lot of them. But, like, generally speaking, like, you know, you don't... And turn-based, some FFs let you choose your fighting styles, but they're very straightforward storyline games. Exactly. And that's what I like about CRPGs. Obviously, both of these games have, like, you know, both of these types of games have their pros and cons. But, like, generally speaking, when I play a game like Fallout or, Brigand Oaxaca or something to that effect, what a hell of a fucking poll, by the way. When I play those games, I know that to, you know, within the reason of a video game's world, I could be whoever the fuck I want to be. If I play Persona 5, I am always going to just be Joker the high schooler who you know, beats up bad adults for a living and takes their stuff. I can't choose to be, you know, Sascha the Eater of Worlds who shoots black holes at people or you know, like I keep like coming back to eating human flesh. I can't choose to be like an absolutely evil, diabolical motherfucker who joins the villains and eats human flesh, you know? And obviously, generally speaking, I don't want to, like, you know, our games are trying to be more like D&D than JRPGs are, and that's good. That's what I like games to be. That's what I like games to be, you know? I like the story decisions you can have in, like you can still have, like, you know, RPGs that don't, you know, not necessarily let you be anybody, that can still be fun, you know? Like, look at Deus Ex 1. Deus Ex is an RPG with a ton of stuff that you can choose. It doesn't let you, you know, choose to be a completely bespoke person than the game wants you to be when you start your character. But you can still do a lot of cool stuff, and it's a fantastic game with a lot of cool choices and a lot of cool interactability over the gameplay. Like, let me say it like this, okay? Here's a good example. You're never going to play a Final Fantasy game where they let you beat one of the bosses by just saying a random word. You're never going to play a Final Fantasy game where you can find a villain's secret kill phrase and walk up to him and BM him right in front of everybody by saying, "Hey, shut up, bozo," and then just say some random phrase and he explodes in front of you, you know? You're not gonna play like a Persona title, where you can, I don't know, be like part of like an insane like paramilitary organization that wants to rule the world. You can't choose to poison everybody in humanity in a Persona title, you know? Let me read some of these chat messages. So this is, what is it? Chance says, I like JRPGs, but I hate Persona's combat. Nick says, I do a lot of the boring work for my JRPGs off stream before major story stuff. Let me see here. Chance says, I say the thing I find lacking in JRPGs, even though I like them, is that I find it hard to be immersed as the character because that character is rarely ever me, like with stuff like Fallout. Exactly. Again, like, no matter what, you're just playing as that character. And if that character isn't somebody that you can relate to in any degree, like, yeah, obviously with Persona, it would make some sense because, yes, most of us do relate to being a kid who's being stepped on by adults all the time and we want to make the world less shitty. But, like, you know, and when I play Nier, I do kind of relate to the dude who just wants to do right for his family, even though it means he's technically doing something horrible for mankind. You know? That's cool. I fuck with his struggles, you know? Next says, Baldur's Gate basically lets me be my VTuber's lore fighting style. I like that. Yeah, that's good shit. KOTOR is straight up D&D in a Star Wars universe. I've heard very good things about KOTOR. A lot of BioWare's stuff, when they were focused more on, like, everything that BioWare made outside of Mass Effect back in their golden age, I think was really fucking cool. Dwop says, I mean, Baldur's Gate is super 5e to the point where the rules is written stuff blindsides 5e players because it's shit people don't interact with because it's annoying. So you're telling me that, like, that Baldur's Gate basically, like, is like, it contains mechanics that people homebrew out of D&D editions for, like, comfort and ease of play. So now they're like, what the fuck? Where are you coming from? Every single Obsidian Fallout in the Outer World lets you talk the villain into destroying themselves. Yeah, basically. Granted, I think that speech in Fallout games is a little bit ridiculous, you know? Like the fact that you could basically just win Fallout New Vegas with a stat that it doesn't take you very hard to build up to 100. You know, like if you really wanted to fucking like, you know, go for it, you could have like a speech 100 like thing before you even get into any of the DLCs. You know, and the fact that with a stat that it doesn't take very long to get up to the highest like amount possible. You can just go up to the main villain and he says, "We're going to crush the West," and you say, "Nuh-uh," and he goes, "I've misjudged you. We will meet again someday." And then he just runs away. That's a little bit silly. But yeah, sometimes you do want to see the bad side of things. You guys know for a fact, all right? I'm sure if I say this, all of you are gonna, you know, slap your foreheads and say fucking Sascha. When I beat Lonesome Road and it gave me the choice of who I wanted to redirect the nuclear warheads to, I said fuck them both. I said fuck them both. Fuck them both. Let them send them all to hell. Send them all straight to hell. The bear and the bull. Get fucked. I nuked them all. I put the poison in Project Purity. I blew up Megaton. I did that shit. I'm guilty as fuck. And you know what? It was funny. How did you know that the person who you know sold out my wife was this lady working the front desk? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. She just looked at me funny. I didn't like her vibes. Goodbye. Sorry, Boone. I'm sorry that you can't handle getting a little bit of blood on your hands in the apocalypse, bozo. You can't do that in a JRPG, man. I can't play Final Fantasy VII and like, you know, basically like I can't play Final Fantasy VII and I don't know, man. I'm running out of analogies here. But it's great. BG is great overall for me. Very few things I'd say irk me. Good stuff. Fucking Bolt is objectively correct. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't fuck with a Manifest Destiny-ass colonizing, you know, capitalist fuckhead empire that wants to take over everything and wants to basically just bring the US back to the state that it was that literally led to it being fucking scorched in nuclear hellfire. And I definitely don't want to be a part of the insane right-wing bozos who read too much about fucking, you know, the actions of history and read too much into the past without actually learning the lessons of the people that they are trying to take so much away from. They don't learn from their failings. And also, they're insane fuckheads who literally believe that slavery is a good thing. Nuke them both. Fuck them. When I did Fallout New Vegas fresh, I was like, maybe I can fever out the world a bit and do the Legion route. I know that it was a bad move, but it was a little edgy at the time. Everybody has their Legion phase. Except for me, I actually have never done a New Vegas playthrough where I ever joined the Legion. I never liked them. I thought they were stupid. And this is as somebody who took, who literally, like, took Latin as her language other than English class, and was basically embroiled in Roman culture on a regular day-to-day basis. I still didn't think the Legion were cool. I thought they were dumb. Beach is powerful in D&D too. I've talked my way out of so much shit. Oh no, say no more. When I was playing Dungeon World campaigns with Spiral and Albert, we had the same thing happen. Albert and I both saved each other's skins a couple of times with speech shit like that. Fuck. But yeah, so this tangent went way out of fucking left field. But the point is that I think a big part of why a JRPG gameplay doesn't really appeal to me is because obviously because of how the focus in JRPGs on, you know, the focus is different. It is a focus that is different in a way that doesn't really appeal to me. Because I like playing games where I can feasibly be any type of motherfucker I want, even if that motherfucker is absolutely reprehensible and kills people, like, on the regs for funsies. And in JRPGs, you know, you kind of don't really get to be, like, you don't really get to roleplay as a character. You just kind of get to pretend to be a specific character. And that's extremely, what's the word? That's extremely subjective. That is because the level of interactivity and immersion, like focus on immersion, is a big part of why I like games. It's why I play sims, it's why I play tactical shooters, it's why I play a lot of games like that. Because immersion, me and Rocco actually talked at length about the different sort of qualities that people like in games. And with me, immersion was obviously one of the most important ones that we ruled out. I figured I feel pretty safe in saying that immersion and making an experience that I can really put myself into. You know, I can really feel shivers up my spine when I decide to, you know, like, turn my gun on somebody that I trusted or somebody that trusted me, to really, really feel like I'm in my element when I walk out onto a ship's back deck and smoke some cigarettes in the rain, you know? Playing a game where I can really get sucked into it, I think, and just be the character, not be the person playing as the character, is kind of always what sells a game for me. So that's kind of why I tend to bounce off JRPGs, because I have a very hard time getting immersed in those. And again, Nyx is making the perfect point here. JRPGs are less role-playing as a character and more broad, sweeping tales. Both have merits. Abso-fucking-lutely. I've heard the JRPG story, like, the big thing, the big selling point of JRPGs is the story. Arguably, when I talk about the fact that, you know, in a lot of JRPGs, you don't really get a whole lot of input on how to change the story or the course of, you know, the course of how it plays out, that's probably for a very good reason. I doubt Final Fantasy VII's story would have been half as interesting if halfway through the game you could join the villain and kill Aerith yourself. Oops. But it makes sense. Generally speaking, the more you allow a player to change things or interact with things in your game, the more that you have to calculate for when you're making it. A story that allows you to, like, change the fucking elements of the story with every single possible dialogue choice, I'm sorry, but you're probably kind of... there's going to be a pretty high percentage chance that you're going to have a really half-baked story, because you got to account for every single little possible player choice and make sure that every single possible branch and fork results in a satisfying or interesting ending and outcome. You can never ensure that 100%. It's not going to happen. So, it's why I will always prefer, in a lot of cases, I personally think that games that are somewhat more linear are more interesting than full-on sandboxes. Because in a game that is more like, you know, sort of like straightforward and has some level of non-linearity, but, you know, isn't like a complete wide-open sandbox where you can go wherever the fuck, the combat encounters are always going to be more interesting and more fulfilling and memorable, because they are able to design it specifically around where the player is coming from, and it allows them to really, really tailor the experience. Yeah, sure, I'm sure there are a couple of shootouts I've had in Far Cry 3 that were fun, but I don't remember them half as much as the shootouts I've had in Fear. An insanely linear game that you still manage to get lost in, rather, but an insanely linear game, but the combat situations become puzzles, because the puzzle is, man over there needs to die, point and click on the man to kill him, but you can't point and click on the man to kill him because he's got 5 of his boys with him right there, and if you try and do that, they're all gonna kill you. So you gotta find ways around it. Slide through different areas, climb through the vents, use your slow-mo, use whatever you can. I like more linear FPS titles because they allow the developers to design combat encounters to be like a puzzle, where every weapon, every approach, every tactic and strategy is its own possible solution. You're playing Baba is You with murder, and it's great. So, I've lost the plot here. Bob says the reason they cut off the alternate route in Deus Ex, they had to finish the game. Exactly! Exactly! As much as we would all love a game, this is the part where I kind of, like, justify the standpoint that I've been, you know, like, sort of, like, what is it, that I've been kind of, like, opposing this whole time. I have to, you know, I have to give merit to both sides here. Let's be real. As much as we would love a game where you can be anybody and do anything, that game would take 10 fucking years to come out, and even at the end of that 10 years, would still be a half-baked experience. There is a level of limit you have to put on how much a player can do, otherwise you are never going to finish your fucking game. And if you do, it's going to suck. Dorothy says I'm so close to completely finishing The Outer Worlds. I love that game. But playing Supernova is so annoying no matter how much I love that game. Yeah, exactly. You know? So, like, fucking, there's a merit And when I talk about how, you know, I generally am a little bit dissatisfied with how little of an impact I seem to feel, like, how little of a choice I have over how JRPG stories play out, I don't think that's an accident. I think there's a design philosophy, an intentional reason as to why the player can't just, you know, you can't just, you know, load up fucking FF10 and have Titus fucking eat a baby in the final act, you know? There's a reason you can't do that. Because that would fuck up everything. And because of the scale of the game, you can't introduce that level of interactivity and that level of things you can change in a game without it fucking so much. No fast travel, expect to the ship ruins it. Running everywhere takes way too long. That's valid. Like, that's the thing, you know? So, like, as much as I would love every game to have the level of interactivity that a CRPG allows us, it just isn't really viable or effective for certain types of games. Some types of games just generally tend to profit more from an experience that is kind of like, yes, we would, you know, you don't really get a whole lot of branching paths or you know, like things that you can change drastically in a storyline, but that means that what you are experiencing can be tailor-made and is given a level of complexity that, like, I think that because of a lot of discourse and the way sort of like public opinion and viewpoints on gameplay and analysis of games has shifted over the years, I think people could confuse complexity for interactivity. I think people confuse complexity for interactivity. So, like, I think you can have a very complex story without it, you know, necessarily meaning that it's a story that you can, you know, change drastically at any possible turn, you know? Like, I personally have never played a Final Fantasy story in my life, but I feel very confident in saying that the stories of those games are probably very complex and nuanced and well put together, because they wouldn't have that fucking reputation if they weren't, you know? And I'm sure they stand up on their fucking own. And a big part of that is because in order to have a story with a scale like that, you can't let the player just fucking go in and start killing innocent people whenever they want to. You can't have the player join fucking, you know, Sephiroth when he kills Aerith. You can't go around and do any of this shit, because it would cock everything up. It would fuck everything up. So, to close that part off, I understand why JRPGs have this sort of like approach to their design philosophy that turns me off. And it's because they're just not really my type of game. And the design focus and sort of like, you know, like the major strengths in the design and the writing and everything else are put towards a type of game that just isn't really my thing. But the people who are into that, they love that shit. And I'm fucking beyond happy for them, and seeing people talk and be really passionate about that type of shit is what I live for. You say that, but there's games that win awards when the story is honestly average at best. Yeah, but after they win that award, nobody talks about them, do they? You know what we still talk about? The fucking story of Metal Gear Solid 2. Like here's the thing, right? Think about it this way, right? Deus Ex, fantastic game, great story. A game where you can change a lot in the story. Disco Elysium, another game where you can change a lot about the story. Fallout 1, another game with a great story, you can change everything about it. But, you know what else gets shit tons of praise and is still getting talked about non-stop today? Metal Gear Solid 2, a game that is insanely linear. It does not let you change anything about the story, right? It's pretty linear. It's linear, right? Because instead of making all of the focus on making a story that is interactable, they made a game that is heavily complex. Its gameplay elements are complex and immersive and cool. And because of that, they focus more on making a game that is complex and interactive, but with a story that is also extremely complex without having to worry about it being interactive. Or you know, whatever, I guess interactive is a better term then. So, you have a story that is tailor-made and was fine-tuned to be surprisingly, I don't want to say prophetic, but at the very least, it is extremely interesting. And you get a story that is tailor-made, is perfect, and, well, not perfect, but, like, again, It's really well put together and well thought out, and they really they knew what they were doing when they made it. And because the story was just like, we don't have to worry about like 50,000 fucking branching paths, you focus on just making the story be really solid, and the gameplay is where you put all that interactivity. It doesn't always have to be a trade-off, but I think learning to prioritize and figuring out how to best sort of like divvy up how you want to approach these types of things is the most important thing. MGS, personally, I think MGS3 is the most compelling, but I get your point. Okay, MGS3 is the most, I think, is compelling because its story... Okay, I think MGS3's, like, aesthetically is most compelling. I think its story is fantastic and really had me hooked. Okay. MGS3 is a better story because you're invested in the story of Naked Snake. You're invested in the story of the relationship between him and the boss. He has to kill his mentor because she betrayed her people. And when he finally does, he realizes that everything that he was, like, you know, working for, everything that he thought was the point of all of this, you know, fight for your country, do the right thing, stop the bad guys. At the end of the day, he's like, was she even a bad guy? What was the point of this? I killed my mentor, the person who probably, you know, had the biggest impact on my growth as a human being in the past few years of anybody else that I've ever known in my life. I killed her. I had to kill her. And at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure that the whole cause that I had for doing it was just some bullshit fucking lies sold to me by a bunch of armchair bureaucrats. That's a really compelling narrative. That's amazing. And I remember... I must see this. Hey, White Plume. What's up? Yeah, I got my nods on. It is getting dark in-game, so it helps. But, like... I remember the first time I played MGS3. Also, we got the Bison rifle, so we can bring that to hip next game. Or next stream. But, I remember the first time I played MGS3. What rant did I come into this time, and I'm doing good? This rant started as me talking about why I don't really plan to stream Omori, and it devolved into us talking about the balance between interactivity and like complexity of design when it comes to RPGs. Specifically, me comparing CRPGs and JRPGs. The dichotomy between the two, and why I prefer CRPGs, but why I recognize and wholly respect the merit behind JRPGs. And it was mostly me talking about the balance between, like, you can have a game that's insanely interactive and immersive, or you can have a game that's really, like, tightly designed. You're always going to have to make sacrifices if you try to do both. Dorothy's Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest were the first of their kind on basic consoles, so JRPGs became known for that style. Yeah, I mean, you want to look at a game that I think is a great example of a JRPG, or at least it's pretty close to one, motherfucking Yakuza. That game is insanely interactable. There's a lot of choice you can have over what kind of person you want to be, and there's a lot of choice you can have over what kind of fighter you want to be. It's great. But to get back to the Metal Gear talk, because I'm getting ahead of myself. The first time I played Metal Gear Solid 3, and I beat it, and I remember seeing the entire scene where you know, Naked Snake is officially given the title of Big Boss, and he's given all of his fucking medals for saving the world and stopping a nuclear war or whatever the fuck. And he knows for a fact that was never gonna happen. And he doesn't want that fucking medal. They're like, come on, it's, you know, it's your fucking moment. You're a war hero. You're a hero, dude. What's up? And he just turns around and walks out. I had some shit going on in my personal life that made me feel very, very attuned to that. Like a whole, you know, you've been through a lot, dude, but you made it. Come take your medal. No, I don't want it. Fuck you. It really hit me hard. It was something I resonated with. MGS3's story is extremely compelling, so you make a very good point, Chance. But it's compelling on an emotional level, but I think the story that says the most is MGS2. The entire Patriot conversation in MGS2 it fucking speaks for itself. It is insane. And it's funny that I brought that up in the same breath as talking about Deus Ex, another game that was also very cyberpunk and had an insanely, you know, like, fucking really good predictions about the future. I like to refer to what games like Deus Ex and Metal Gear and most sort of speculative far future, you know, like morality play far future speculative sci-fi tend to do. I like to call it forecasts. I don't really like to call it predictions. I like to think of it as forecasts, because we're simply looking at where mankind had been before we had the technology we have now, and we can safely say that, judging what people have done with positions that allowed them to do back then what technology like this allows us to do now, we can safely say, yeah, it's probably going to go like this. It's just kind of interpreting the past and saying, considering nature is cyclical and mankind will never learn from the lessons of the past, it's safe to say it's probably going to go in this direction again. So I like to think of what MGS2 and Deus Ex do as more like forecasts. Nick says Yakuza is one of my favorite series. Pretty much every game ending tears me up. God, yeah. I remember when I broke down in tears because two shirtless dudes falling on top of a skyscraper. Okay, I can't boil it down like that. Also, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub, White Plume. I really appreciate it. I'm happy that I'm one of your favorite streamers. That really puts a smile on my face. But yeah, so... But because MGS2 is obviously not like a game where you can fucking, you know, choose to have Raiden, you know, go fucking nuke a town halfway through, or whatever the fuck. The complexity is focused on the gameplay, and the story is made into a perfectly fine-tuned, fucking, you know, morality play, and sort of like story and tale about, you know, just somebody struggling into realizing that they have absolutely zero control over their environment, or world, or even future. It's the good shit. It's the good shit. It's weird. I kind of lost the plot of where I was going. We're not really talking about, like, you know, what we were originally talking about, because me dropping this whole fucking rant about Metal Gear Solid doesn't really have any kind of way I can tie it into the arguments and statements I'm making about JRPGs. They're not even really arguments, actually, because they're just kind of like me proclaiming my own taste. It also has, he's called Vamp because he's bisexual. We don't talk about Vamp, dude. I remember when I first played MGS2, which, by the way, I spent like a good 10 minutes of the game just making Raiden slip and fall on the roof of the big shell when he first starts the game. But when I first saw a guy who was invisible and running around on the walls and biting people, I was like, let me guess. He's gonna be named like Vlad or something. No, his name is Vamp. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me, Kojima? This is the best you could do, my man? You gotta be shitting me. Surely you can understand my position. Ugh. I'm getting ahead of myself again. More Bakelite mags that I don't want. I guess the point that I was making was that despite the fact that I tend to prefer immersion when it comes to qualities in video games, because, you know, a big thing that, you know, a big part of immersion for me is interactivity, but not always. Simply creating a compelling atmosphere, I think is extremely necessary. Wait. I took away the mod, right? Hold up. Okay, I did, okay. But, like, despite the fact that immersion and interactivity are things that really get me the most into a game, and JRPGs generally are not really built with, like, interactivity-based immersion in mind as a part of their game, like, their gameplay loop and overall design philosophy, I still recognize the merit that focusing that energy towards making a fine-tuned story and fine-tuning a combat system that does have a lot of tiny moving parts is extremely admirable, and I imagine if I was into that sort of thing, I would probably love it, because that type of shit takes a lot of fucking work. So, I don't generally enjoy playing JRPGs, but let's be real. They are insanely, you know, they take a lot of fucking work to design, and I think they are extremely complex, even if it doesn't feel complex to me, because, you know, I can't nuke a town in the middle of it, or decide to work with the villain, or just be a silver-tongued, you know, daredevil who talks the villain out of the final confrontation. Just because I can't do that doesn't mean they aren't insanely complex, and in many degrees, also insanely immersive. So there's that. But before we close out, one of the reasons I like you for stream is because you explain yourself a lot, and I tend to love it when people do that. I just kind of, I don't know. I've been solo streaming for a while, so when I started out solo streaming and, you know, I didn't really have that many viewers, I had to find something to talk about so there wasn't just dead air and me clearing my throat every 5 minutes. I had to find something to talk about. I think I've gotten pretty good at that, I feel. With that aside, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, because this originally started with me talking about why I don't stream RPGs. And it all came from me originally saying that I don't really think that the gameplay of RPGs can be varied enough to really sell a stream of it. And that I don't consider to be super true now that I've had more time to think about it. But generally speaking, there's another issue here. And the big thing I have about RPGs is that because they're so story focused, when you tune into a stream of an RPG that you haven't played, what's going to happen? You're going to tune in, and you're going to say, I haven't gotten to this point in the story. If you, for example, don't want to be spoiled, you're probably going to tune out. And even if you don't care about spoilers, there's a high likelihood of a viewer coming into your stream not recognizing where you are in the story, maybe especially if they haven't even played the game before, or know anything about the game, and they're going to say, I don't know what's happening. So, you know, they're generally not really going to be able to be compelled by what might be going on. So they'll probably tune out and go tune in when you're playing something a little bit more straightforward. It does suck that that happens, but it does happen. I think it's why a lot of people kind of have like a bit of a struggle keeping up viewership when it comes to RPG streaming, because of that. Because in a game where it is so, you know, it's so story heavy, and the story has so many loops and changes and, you know, and story beats happening so consistently as part of the gameplay, if you tune in and you can't get into the gameplay, and you have no fucking clue what's going on in the story, and you don't really, you know, you're not really feeling up to asking the streamer to explain it, you know, you're not really gonna want to stick around. And it's kind of like, it's not really generally fun to do that, I feel. To stream a game where I have to worry about that. So, that was kind of the big point at the end. It was like, I would love to stream a game like Omori, because I think Omori is a fantastic title, and as y'all saw when I played Silent Hill 2, I have absolutely zero personal issue with a game making me cry on stream. Hell, I fucking invite it, you know? But, like, if a game is, like, super fucking long to the point where I would take longer doing it than Signalis, and, fucking, if it's like a game where I would genuinely have a lot of trouble keeping myself compelled and interested in it, even if the story was genuinely compelling, which I have heard Omori's story is really compelling, but I would have a lot of trouble keeping myself, you know, like, sort of, like, planted in the world with how the gameplay loop is, and I wouldn't really be having a fun time there. And I love pushing my boundaries and finding a good way to take myself out of my element all the time. It's why I want to do a stream of Duskers sometime, you know? Or something like fucking, I don't know, like a game that I normally wouldn't have considered to have played. But, you know, also, like, I do still have my limits. Yes, sticking to a wheelhouse isn't always the best idea, but, like, I'm sorry, man. I'm happy sticking to my wheelhouse if it means I can confidently go on stream and say, hey, you can give up on waiting for me to play Tarkov, because that shit ain't happening, bro. Sorry. That kind of stuff. Omori is a really good story. This is White Plume. Next to Sascha Explains Things is one of my favorite times. No wonder y'all stick around so much. Alright. Sell this ammo, obviously. Yeah, Duskers I really want to play. I remember seeing Mono play and it looked really cool. Because I do have a big, long list of games I want to try. There is an RTS game that I want to try very soon that I'm probably going to have a friend on as a somewhat tour guide. And I think that would be a good way to bring myself out of my element as well. So, you know, I'm all for taking myself out. I mean, I fucking play racing games on stream all the time, you know? I'm all for taking myself out of my element, but also, like, you know, I do still have my limits. I think is the best way of putting it. God, I can't wait to try Duskers. Looks cool as hell. What's that note that I picked up? Well, I've learned how to make an RF receiver, but I have not learned anything new. Sascha explains to make a good YouTube series. You know what? It's really funny you say that because I did used to make rant videos in 2012. At one point, I made a whole video of just me playing Hotline Miami and talking about how much I hated, you know, like, where the deathcore scene was going at that time. You know? I aspired to make little game review videos back in the day, but I'm happy that I saved that stuff for streams where I have an audience to engage with. I think that anybody can upload a video where they just, you know, give all their talking points to a wall and then upload it is fine. But I think streaming is more fun for this type of discussion. Because I get to bounce it off of people and get to, you know, people will talk to me and give their perspectives on it. And those perspectives allow me to think of things that I would never have thought of otherwise. And to that end, it makes it a lot more compelling because then I can give a much more whole side of how I feel. I can talk about things in a much more complete way. Because I'll remember shit I never would have remembered on my own. Nah, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to turn my Twitch VODs into, like, stuff like that. I think that those two types of content are just kind of, like, not mutually exclusive, but they just don't mesh as well as you think that they would. I appreciate the sentiment, but I don't think I would have a lot of fun making content doing that. Because, like, what I do isn't really, like... What I do isn't, like... I don't really like to think of it as a rant. And there are some times when I'm playing on my own on Stalker Tuesdays, and I'll be talking about something, and it'll be kind of me being, like, just kind of a little bit like, oh, here's, like, this. Like, how I talked about JRPGs tonight, and also competitive shooters earlier on the stream. Sure. But, like... Generally speaking, most of my longer-winded discussions is mostly just saying, here's something I really love, here's why I love it. And at the end of the day, I think I'd prefer to just make a fucking long-form YouTube video talking about that instead. Chance is going to be occupied. See you later. See you later, Chance. I'm actually going to be ending stream soon anyway, so that ends up working out. But I hope you have a wonderful night. Be good to yourself, homie. Keep killing it out there. Like, I will say, I am still working on a script for a long-form video. I've actually kind of been prototyping, like, a couple of scripts. One of them is a script I'm, like, a good third of the way through, which is talking about an album that I discovered this spring that is one of my favorite albums of all time, and I love it to death. The other is a video that I'm kind of working, like, I'm kind of, like, trying to pull together a script about an album that actually had the exact opposite effect, where it, or just like an opposite side of the coin effect, where it's an album that I love, and I think it's amazingly well put together and extremely compelling, but it's an album that made me terrified of losing somebody close to me when they were not at all in a position where that was possible. Can we raid one of my friends? If it's alright, White Plume, I wouldn't really like to be, like, I don't really want to be like how do I put this? How do I put this right? I appreciate your sentiment. And I'm sure that your friends are all, you know, really wonderful people, but I'm not really open to suggestions from most viewers on who to raid. Thank you though. I appreciate it. All good, just asking. Thanks for understanding, friend. I appreciate it. But yeah, so like One of them is me working on a script for a video where it's like, here's an album that I love, and it literally like it made me, it like helped reteach me how to love the world again. And then there's another script I'm trying to prototype for a video where it's like, here's an album that's also fantastic. It made me terrified of losing people that I love, you know? and shit like that. So, make no mistake, I am working on scripts for long-form YouTube content, and I've always wanted to make that. But making long-form YouTube content takes stupid long, because you have to prototype the script, and the script takes a lot of research and constantly fucking, you know, going through like alternate drafts, bouncing it off of people, and doing all that shit. When with a stream, I don't have to worry about sending a script to people and having them reading it. I can just go up on the stage and be like, here's something I love. Here's why I love it. And people in the chat say, that's really cool. I like that part about it. Or, I wonder if it has this thing. And I say, that's crazy you bring that up. I forgot about that. It does, let me talk about it. Or I say, or they say, oh, here's something I really love. And I'm like, that's amazing. Tell me about it. I would love to hear about it. The level of interactivity makes for so much more fulfilling discussions to me than just uploading a video on YouTube and watching the comments roll in, you know? It's why it's a big part of why I love Stalker Tuesdays, because I love having friends on and being silly wacky and talking about and, you know, doing all sorts of funny shit. And oftentimes when I do have friends on, I still have moments where I end up going on tangents, or one of us goes on tangents and talks about something, and the chat chimes in too, and we all have a lovely discussion about it. I also, you know, like Stalker Tuesdays, because on these days I get to just go full podcast mode, and it's a fireside chat where I sit down and I say, here's what I've been up to, here's what I've been, you know, really thinking about. I think this would be really cool, or I like this, or I don't like this, and we just chat. And it's just really kind of like fun and comfy and vibe out. And I think tonight has been one of my favorite Stalker Tuesdays in a while, because I just got to sit down and talk with you guys about stuff that we're all passionate about in an interesting way. It was a fun conversation. Obviously, it's still somewhat one-sided because, you know, it's just me talking to, you know, the chat, and I read the chat messages, and much of where the direction goes is still deciding based on what I say and where I bring the conversation. But I still, you know, make it, you know, I make a lot of effort to, you know, like, at the very least, like, give credence to what chat is saying and say, oh, that's interesting that you say that. Tell me more about it, or let me say how I feel about that now that you've said it, to really make it feel like you're kind of there with me, you know? I love streaming, and I couldn't be happier that I started streaming, because I think it allows me to really kind of like open myself up to just things that I never would. Music and games and all sorts of media that I never would have thought about, you know, experiencing. Because right now, at this point, I'm just like trying my best to get by, and the time that I spend not, you know, working my ass off is time that I want to spend experiencing things that I think are beautiful and special and cool and interesting and change how I see the world. And I'm never gonna find enough of those just on my own. So it's interesting, you know?
Темнота бывает враг, бывает лучший друг.
My suit's sitting at 90%, so I should probably tune it up a little bit.
Ну?
Okay, that's 85 actually, so my suit can go a bit lower. Gun's sitting at 93, but I can repair it to 85 as well, so I'll wait. Alright. Magazine roster all full. We still got food, water, meds. Yeah, it's been a bountiful night. I'm still at nearly 100,000 rubles, and I bought the fucking bison rifle, which I can obviously bring to hip next run. I think order of business. Next stream, we bring the SVD on down to Xenotech, and we get this old girl fixed up. I do not have the toolkit required to repair it. And I have reason to believe that purchasing the tools to repair it would take a stupid amount of time. I don't have ramrods to fix the barrel. I have plenty of files to fix the other parts, but I don't have all the parts. In fact, I only have 2. So the most I can bring this gun up to is going to be like, you know, a good like a good like, you know, 60%. And it's not going to be enough. White Plume says, help me personally, this is because you brought up podcasts earlier. I would watch your streams even after you're no longer live. That's really lovely to hear. Thank you. I think that's something that I really think about a lot, is like, do people come back to the VODs and watch them? You know? I sometimes rewatch homies' VODs sometimes, but usually only if it's, you know, like, usually like, mostly if it's got moments that I, you know, really, really remember and want to, you know, see back again. But like, you know, sometimes, watching a stream VOD is really time consuming. So I don't fault nobody, you know? Alright. That's gonna be it. I think I've done enough tonight because I've gotten my inventory all sorted out after coming back from a long raid. Let me get some new quests, actually. I like to see how friends handle some games. Yeah, see, you get it. I can't get you an artifact, fucko, but I can get you a cattail. I'm not going to Jupiter, sorry. I literally physically can't go to Jupiter, Barkeep. I fucking cannot. Take the cattail and fuck off. He'll probably have more quests for me when I load up the game next week. When I can, I do if I had missed them. Oh, that's wonderful. Alright. I'm gonna go talk to fucking, I'm gonna go talk to fucking what's-his-name. And I'm gonna go, I'm gonna pick up some more quests from Petrenko and Voronin. And after that, I'm gonna probably, save my game and close this out for the night. Because we've been going for like 3.5 hours because I started a bit late. But I did say that I kind of, you know, don't want the stream to go on for too long. And I think starting another raid would probably, probably be a little bit, like starting another, you know, like mission run in the zone would be a little bit too time consuming. I like to start streams at the bar and end them at the bar. It's thematic. It works out. Oh, this is the wrong guy. I don't want to eat food right now. I'll drink some water and see if that helps. Oh, not really. I'll eat some mutant food when I get back. Let me make a mental note of this, by the way. Oh, wait, hold up. The DVL-10 Urbana. That's pricey. I'd basically be putting myself into debt to buy this thing. But, oh, she's nice. She is nice looking. I have to give some thought to that. We'll see where it goes after I buy the fucking bison anyway. Since Xenotech is bound to have the most spare parts, I think it would be most cost-effective to just have them repair the SVDS. And I have the most ammo, and because I have, you know, I'm here at the duty base, I tend to get really good prices on their stuff. And also, I can get SVD ammo by trading in vodka to Chef like I do with AK ammo. That might be the most cost-effective thing to do. I'll buy a little. I'll eat some mutant meat, and I'll probably buy a can of tuna off Barkeep. Because if I'm gonna be dropping off Hip's bison, I need to get her a can of tuna to continue the fucking quest line. God, look how good the rain looks now. Now that it's not just like, you know, fucking PNGs and shit on my screen. It's like actual rain with like real refractions. It looks beautiful. See you around. Gotta go. No worries. Thank you, White Plume, so much for the sub again, and have a wonderful night. Be good to yourself, and I'll see you around next time. We're going to be doing 2 album streams this week, so if you like discussion, I think you'll have a good time on those. especially since one of them is going to contain our dear friend Pinch Raccoon, the beloved raccoon. We love them so much. One's in chat if you love Pinch Raccoon. Where the fuck am I keeping this Mosin? Alright. Barkeep. Accepting me, my man. Here we go. Can of tuna.
Так, что там у меня еще съедобного осталось?
620 rubles for a can of tuna, by the way. Absolute bullshit. Considering I'm liking where I'm going with just making my weaponry, you know, kind of like stuff that I find, I think the SA-58 would be a weapon I'd be really happy with maining, as opposed to a Scar. That's a steal? I mean, nowadays, sure. Nowadays, maybe, but, you know. Not quite as viable as it used to be, you know. I don't have any Bureau hands, right? No, that's a shame. Let me check these board shops. I'm gonna go repair my items. I forgot to go do that. And I'm still good on water, actually. I still don't have a night vision device, do I, huh? Ugh. It's not going to be terribly useful in X16 anyway, so I don't really need to worry that much about it. Don't bother repairing my equipment because that's thousands of rubles apiece. Except for the shoddy. And the knife. And my kits. Fucking Manscaped grooming kits I use to disassemble my tools. Alright, yeah, we're good. We got the gun and the food to get fucking what's her name? Hip in our squad, so that's good. She'll be a valuable addition to our team. We're loaded up on ammo. Let me get some water. There we go. Alright, let me go. Wait, hold up. What's my matches looking like? We're good on matches. We're good on meds. We're good on everything else. And if need be, I can repair both of my weapons and my suit and gear with little to no issue. As I have good gun spray and sewing kits. So I'm all good there. What do you mean, unsuccessful, bitch? There we go. Will that take like 3 tries? Alright. So, with that done, I'm going to bring us on down to the bar. We're going to debrief and raid out to somebody. See you all there in just a moment. Alright, so, here we are back in the bar. Let me fucking, just real quick. Wait. Ah, I see. A little bit of weirdness. So, now that we are here, let me see who we're gonna raid out to. Wait. Ah, I was asking where the music was for a moment. And I was like, ah, I found it. Who can we raid out to? We got Johnny, Gate. Oh, hey, speak of the fucking devil. Pinch. You know what? Let's run Pinch's pockets for a change, huh? How about that? What's our raid message gonna be, fellas? I'm thinking, shit. You know what, fuck it, let's do this. Иди ко мне. I always have trouble finding raid messages during Stalker streams, not gonna lie. Fuck. Alright. Иди ко мне. We're gonna have that be our raid message. I'm gonna bring us over on down to the end screen, and we're gonna raid into our good friend Pinch. So, let's go do that. Where's the button? Fuck me in the ass. I thought I fucking turned that down before I started the stream. I try to normalize my shit every time I can. So here's your raid message. Follower emotes, so most of you should hopefully have access to them. We're going to raid into our good friend Pinch Raccoon, who is doing something. I actually don't know what they're streaming right now. Pinch's pronouns are they, them. Respect the pronouns, respect the rules, don't be weird, don't be an asshole. If you fuck up there, I'm not letting you in back here. If you would like to know what I'm going to be doing this week, on Thursday, me and good friend of our channel, Nick's Nightfall, will be listening to Double Negative by Low, a noise folk album that turns 5 years old this Thursday. On Sunday, Pinch and I are going to be listening to the album Anonymous by Stray from the Path, which turns 10 years old this Sunday. And if you would like to see more Stalker, you can come by next Tuesday. All of these dates at 8 p.m. EST as always. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 8 p.m. EST. You know it. And if you'd like to see more updates on things I'm planning to stream, or how things that I'm currently streaming are going, or just about anything else I'm currently putting my creative juices into, go check out the Twitter in our About section and go follow me there. Or you can come join our Discord community and hang out with us there. That is about all for the night. I hope to see you all soon as possible. Have a wonderful night. Be good to yourselves. I love you all. And keep doing your best. Pripyat City Hey Crew for life. Peace the fuck out.